The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your SuperChats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Another absolutely disgraceful performance by the New York Jets. And this loss today is all on the head coach. Yeah, baby. No wins. No wins for life. Jets football. What a disgrace. What a disgrace. What a waste of everyone's time watching this game, being up early to watch this debacle as the Jets lose in London 13-11. 13-11. The fact that they even had a chance to win this game speaks volumes about just how awful Denver played. Because the Jets went out there and they could not do anything on offense today. Nothing. This was as bad of an offensive performance as we have ever seen. And we sat through Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle. We sat through Trevor Siemian. We sat through Chris Streveler. All these awful quarterbacks. Oh my God, this was as bad of an offensive performance as you will ever see. Justin Fields looked like he was scared. He had the deer in the headlights look. Tanner Engstrand's play calling, abysmal. They blew two-minute drills. The one at the end of the first half was one of the worst I've ever seen in the history of professional football. Oh my God, this was such a poor performance by the Jets. All right, the defense came to play today. Credit to them. They, by far and away, played their best game of the year. The special teams came to play today. Nick Folk was excellent. Austin McNamara, the punter, excellent. The coverage on kicks and punts, excellent. They got a boost from Kene Nwanu being back on kickoff returns. How many times did the Jets special teams set up the offense with a short field? The defense finally got a turnover. Finally. And what does the Jets do? What do they do? Nothing. They kick field goals. I mean, unbelievable. 5:06 to go in this game. You're down 2. You need one drive. You're getting the best defensive and special teams performance all season long in this game today. And you did nothing, absolutely nothing with this golden opportunity to steal a win, get a win, start to feel a little better about yourself. A program building kind of win. It doesn't matter how ugly it is, you win, you win. But this is on the head coach. All right, I don't know what else we could say other than this. Through 6 games, Aaron Glenn is the worst Jet head coach I think any of us have ever seen. He is in over his head. He does not look like he belongs in this league as a head coach. The way the Jets executed at the end of the first half was appalling. To go for it with the fake punt and then turtle up and do nothing. Not even try and throw a Hail Mary in the end zone with no time to go. That was about as bad as it gets. And then another thing that this brilliant head coach did late in the game. What the hell are the Jets doing burning a timeout just to punt on 4th and 1? Take to the delay a game. Save your timeouts. But that's not what upsets me the most. What upsets me the most is that this head coach watched Justin Fields finish the game today with -10 net passing yards. He watched Justin Fields get sacked today 9 times, go 9 of 17 for 45 total yards, miss guys open, not throw the ball and just sit there with that deer in the headlights look. He watched Justin Fields do this for an entire game. And if he at any point put in Tyrod Taylor for one drive, the Jets win today. That's why this is on the head coach. We know Justin Fields was inept. We know he's in over his head. Why is he still playing? This is on the head coach. This is on the head coach. He shouldn't be out there. You have Tyrod Taylor for this exact scenario. You don't owe Justin Fields anything. You paid him $40 million. That's enough. $30 million guaranteed. That's enough. You guaranteed him a starting spot. That's enough. The Jets offense has not scored a first half touchdown since week 1. How do you not, for the sake of the other 52 guys on the roster, sit down Fields and give the team a spark with Tyrod? It doesn't mean you can't go back to Fields next week. It doesn't mean that you can't say to everyone in the media that you're still evaluating Fields and you want to give him a real chance, and this game was just an outlier game. Oh, my God. This is pathetic. How do you not go to Tyrod Taylor? It should have been done at halftime. Disgrace. The way the Jets operated today. They were afraid to let Fields throw. And when he did, he stood there, daring the headlights, and didn't move. Where were the design runs for Justin Fields? Where were any of the plays to get him on the move, rolling out? I thought Tanner Angstrom called a horrific game today. And the quarterback play, and we are experts on bad quarterback play. This was as bad of a quarterback game as we have seen. I mean, the Jet defense and their special teams did everything to give this team a chance. Everything. And they squandered it. Because this is what bad teams do. Defense finally plays well then the offense sucks. And today they were just inept. I mean, they had 0 net passing yards heading into the last couple minutes of this game. I mean, they had 2 yards passing in the first half. Justin Fields was averaging 0.2 yards per pass, and Aaron Glenn stuck with him the entire game. He has no idea what he's doing. None. This head coach is in over his head. This is what happens, Woody Johnson, when you continue to hire first-time coaches who have never done the job. This is what happens when you continue to hire defensive coordinators who have never been head coaches. They are learning on the job. And this coach, oh my God, he is swimming right now. He is in over his head. He's drowning. I mean, how do you not make any change? How? Like, I will go to my grave convinced they win this game if they play Tyrod. This is like the Mike White game, or lack thereof, when Zach Wilson had like 2 inches per play of offense in that game against New England in late 2022. Remember that? Saleh didn't bench Wilson and he lost the team. I wonder if Aaron Glenn's going to lose the team now because of something like this. At 0-6, after your defense finally showed up, your special teams was great today, and you lose because your coach was too stubborn to make a decision in what was in the best interest of the franchise, getting a win, sitting Fields, and going to Tyrod for a spark in the second half. You cannot tell me they don't win if they make the quarterback change. I mean, they finished the game today, -10 net passing yards. Oh, my God. I mean, there's just so many things that bother you about this game. But a 12-year-old playing Madden could have handled these end-of-game scenarios. The play calling, just inexplicable. Inexplicable. The way they ended that final drive to end the first half showed me all I need to know about this head coach. He is in over his head. And if the losing continues, and why would we expect anything to change? He needs to go. He's got to go. I'm sorry. I do not care if it's year 1 for Aaron Glenn. The Patriots fired Gerard Mayo after a year. Houston went through 3 coaches in 3 years before they landed on DeMeco Ryans. Steve Wilkes got fired after a year in Arizona for Cliff Kingsbury. The idea that we can't fire Aaron Glenn if this season ends up being 2-15, and watch, the wins will come in late December when nobody cares, and it will hurt their draft pick positioning. The idea that Aaron Glenn is not coaching for his job the rest of the way is total BS. He is. He is. You cannot have games like this. You cannot be 0-6. A Jet head coach has never started 0-5 in his first 5 games. Aaron Glenn is now 0-6. And I didn't think they were going to win today, but that was because I thought the Jet defense was going to be slaughtered. They gave you a great performance, man. I want to highlight what Jermaine Johnson did. I want to highlight what Jarvis Brownlee did. Those guys are difference makers, man. Jermaine being back is huge for this team. He brought energy. He held guys accountable. He made guys lock in and kept them connected throughout the game. You saw the shot of him coaching up the guys on the sideline, gathering the team together. That's a real leader. You wasted that performance. Guys who have been much maligned and criticized played well today. Jamie and Sherwood had a good game, had a really good game today. It's just to lose that game because you were too stubborn to play your backup quarterback who has seen everything in this league, who could come in and won't be afraid to throw. Fields was afraid to throw. He stood there with a deer in the headlights look on. He was afraid to go back and throw. And when he did, every pass he threw was inaccurate. It was behind guys. The last drive, he's completely throwing behind an open Garrett Wilson that could have won them the game. They needed 10 yards. This was coaching malpractice by Aaron Glenn, who, once again, the idea that he just gets this job for the entire season and then he gets next year no matter. Are you kidding me? You want Aaron Glenn overseeing the development of a number one quarterback? Jets are picking first overall. You want Aaron Glenn and this coaching staff to develop that guy? Really? You think they've earned the opportunity to ruin another Jet quarterback? Are you serious? No way. No chance in hell am I doing that. Fact of the matter is, this head coach looks like a deer in the headlights, just like his quarterback did today. He had no clue. He had no feel for the game. He had no feel for the rest of the team. This was a disaster, and it exposed some of the biggest fears we've had all year about this coach. There's no doubt about it. Terrible. Terrible. You're just sitting there and like, you cannot believe it. You cannot believe how bad this was. I mean, there's 11 games left of this bleep show. How much worse is this going to get? Because this head coach, I am telling you, he is in over his head. He has no effing clue. Not a clue. He has no clue what's happening. And we're about to hear his press conference, and I'm already seeing, I got a million texts from people saying Glenn is absolutely lost. So this will be great. Unbelievable. I'm going to play the Glenn presser. Let me say this. If you're watching live right now, please hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel. We talk Jets for 4 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and we're live for a post-game show after every Jets game. Help me get to 50,000 subscribers. You can hit the like button. That helps the algorithm, and subscribe to the channel. We want more and more Jet fans to find the show. We got a great giveaway today. Thanks to my friends at Fanatics. We're going to give away a Garrett Wilson rivalry jersey at the end of this post game. So if you want a chance to win, send in a $10 super chat or higher, or gift a membership for the community, and we'll enter you in our raffle. All right. With that said, let's listen in to this head coach who, once again, I believe is in over his head and is absolutely clueless. Here's Aaron Glenn moments ago at the podium.
All right, injury that we had Stiggers. He has a hip being evaluated. Cam Jones, he has a hip also. He's been evaluated. Same thing with Garrett. All right, so Garrett had a couple of things that happened in the game. He went back in the game on one with his hip, and he came out again in that same situation. So I'll figure what that is. Disappointing game. Man, I thought our guys fought their asses off. Obviously wasn't good enough. It's tough being close. At some point, we gotta finish one of these here, and that's been something that we talk about how we finish, and we didn't finish the way that we needed to go and get this win. Give those guys a lot of credit. Defensively, they were all over the place when it comes to their defense. But I thought our defense played well. This is probably our best game, our defense. Guys, a takeaway. I think we were on the better end of the penalties, which is positive on both ends. But offensively, I mean, they gave it to us, and we all saw that. I don't know how many yards we averaged per rush, maybe 3-some yards a carry. I know we ran the ball quite a bit. Our passing game was non-existent, and that's something that we got to get better at. Those guys did a really good job of pressuring our quarterback, and they are a team that pressures quite a bit. So we knew that going in, and it was tough. It was tough. So, but there were a lot of good things from a defensive perspective, from a special teams perspective, that we're going to build on, and man, we're going to go back to the drawing board and get some things cleaned up on our offensive side, and get ready to go to the next game. So. We put ourselves in this hole, we're 0-6, and we claim that. But we're going to continue to work and get better. That's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. All right, any questions?
How do you process being 0-6 like that? I imagine this is not something you foresaw. When you...
The same way I processed it when, I was in Detroit and we were at that. It is what it is, and you got to keep working. And no one's going to feel sorry for you. So, and the same way a lot of these other coaches that I've talked to that was in this situation, same thing. So, it's not like this hasn't happened to other teams before. We have to keep fighting our ass off, and we got to keep building on the positive that we've shown and keep working.
I know you like to watch the film before you fully evaluate, but the passing game had minus 11 net yards, I think. And
that speaks for itself.
Yeah. But Justin in particular, did you feel like he was hesitant to throw the ball today?
I want to see it. I will say this. When you have a team that pressures that much and play that much man coverage, sometimes you just got to give you guys a chance to win a one-on-one. Again, I don't want to just, stamp that, but I would think, because the way they play, and I know how Vance calls a game, that sometimes you got to give you guys a chance in those one-on-one situations.
Can you tell us what happened at the end of the first half with not running a play, just letting the clock run out?
So I knew we were getting the ball back, and I think it was like 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8. And at that point, we didn't know if we got the first down or not, because I know one ref was saying yes and the other one was no. So once it got the 4th down, guys, I'm not about to sit there and try to get a playoff, and they will get the ball back. And I think they had a timeout left and give them a chance to kick a field goal. I don't think that's the smartest thing to do. So let's just end the half, we get the ball back, and see if we can get a chance to score.
Do you think you showed enough urgency on that drive even before that play, Aaron? You got the ball back with 3 minutes left. Do you think there was enough urgency altogether on that drive?
On the last drive?
The last drive of the first half.
I think we did show enough urgency. The thing is, I knew that we were getting the ball back, and we talked about this as a staff. I want to put us in a situation to where, man, let's go and let's try to get some points. At halftime, and we get the ball back at the second half, then we'll try to get points again. So that was the whole mindset of that. The thing I didn't want to do is give those guys the ball back. It happened to us. I think it happened to us last week. We ended up giving the team the ball back. And I don't want to put our guys in a situation like that again. So I think the smart thing to do was, man, can we run this clock all the way down? Can we get points? And then can we come back to second half and get points again?
Garrett seemed pretty upset when he was walking.
Well, hold on a second. What type of explanation is that? His explanation makes absolutely no sense. Is he admitting they weren't trying to score? He just wanted to keep the ball away from Denver? What? Why did you go for it on the punt then? It doesn't make any sense. Why are you being that aggressive if you're admitting now you didn't want to score? You just wanted to keep the ball away from Denver. And that doesn't excuse not throwing a Hail Mary, take a couple steps back so the clock ticks down, and then throw it up and give yourself a chance. Maybe you get a pass interference call. Maybe someone makes a great play. What type of explanation is that from the head coach? Are you kidding me? What is he talking about there, folks? Oh, my God. He hasn't even been really asked about benching Justin Fields yet. I'm looking forward to that answer from this genius head coach. Here's more from the great Aaron Glenn, Mr. Accountability, Mr. CEO, who's 0-6.
Walking off the field at the end of the first half, was that what it was about, and what did you talk to him? It seemed like you calmed him down a little bit.
He's a competitive person. Who wouldn't be pissed when things are not going right, on the offensive side of the ball. So, you guys know how he is. That's not going to change. And I like that about him. When things are not going right, he gets pissed.
Final 2-minute drive, you had just gotten the first down. The passing game wasn't going well all day. Did you think of running it on that first down? And I think Justin got sacked on that play.
Yeah. I think we were averaging like 3 yards a carry. Yes, I can easily say we could have ran the ball. And that's always hindsight. But, man, we were trying to get ourselves in a position to where we can get to that 35, 40 and get a chance to get us a field goal in that situation.
Where was the line for the field goal there, AG? Is that the field we're seeing?
Well, 35 for us. Yeah, 35 for us. I know our guy, he kicked a 58-yard. That was his career long. So, man, we can get to the 35. We felt like we were really good in that situation.
Is there any consideration there on where you guys were? I think it would have been a
44.
Yeah, so it would have been.
That's tough. Again, we just said his line was 35, and we're talking about 9 yards back.
Like if his career long was 58, which he did this year.
58, and I think it was with the wind and all that. So I just thought that was tough.
AG, I understand you probably want to watch the film,
Yeah.
but Justin's numbers are not good from this game.
No.
Is he going to be your quarterback next week, or would you consider?
What kind of question is that?
Look, he did not have a good game. I mean, I think it's a fair question.
There's a number of guys that, I mean, sometimes this league is like this, and there are guys that have bad games. That doesn't mean you just bench them. Come on, you know better than that.
Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second. You do not get to lecture Brian Costello there for asking a totally reasonable question about Justin Fields and whether or not he's the starter next week. He was that bad today, Aaron Glenn. I thought you said you're not a defensive coach. You're a coach, right? Well, if you're a real coach, you would have saw that Justin Fields was inept today and didn't belong on the field for the start of the second half. He was costing you the game. He cost you a win. You had -10 net passing yards. He got sacked 9 times. He held on to the ball forever. That is a legitimate question. You don't get to be offended about the question. You don't get to shut down the question asking about if Justin Fields will be the quarterback next week. He should have been the quarterback at halftime today. What a joke. Are you kidding me? Oh, guys have bad games. I thought you said, in his own words, if you make mistakes, if you're hurting the football team, you won't play. It's not like Justin Fields was just bad today. He was horrific. Horrific. You needed a spark. Tyrod Taylor would have won you this game today. He would have put together one drive. That's all they needed. The defense played so well. You only needed one drive today. One. That's it. You only needed one drive. You didn't score in the fourth quarter. All you needed was one field goal drive and you win today. And he's going to take offense to the question? He is. Folks, we are screwed. We are screwed. Woody Johnson, for the love of God, if you were listening, you have to be prepared to move on from this coach if this ends up being a 2-15 season. You have to. Bite the bullet, own the mistake. Do not let us sit through another year of this horse bleep. How is this getting any better? What have we seen to point to anything that tells us things are going to get better? He's stubborn. He refuses to see the obvious. You got to be kidding me. What? That answer is a disgrace. How can you sit there or stand there up at that podium and with a straight face be offended that you're asked if Justin Fields, if he's your starter or not next week? Pathetic. Pathetic.
The struggles have been. I mean, you guys are 0-6 though. Like this isn't, a team that's
You don't have a first half touchdown since week 1.
2-3 or 3-3, and the quarterback has a bad game. And Justin's played a role in some of these offensive struggles. The time to throw.
Everybody's played a role in that. So it's not just Justin. Because I understand where you guys are trying to take this, but listen, there's
No. No one's trying to take it anywhere, Aaron Glenn. These are legitimately fair questions. Your goddamn team has not scored an offensive touchdown since week 1. You entered today averaging 6 points per game the first 3 quarters, besides week 1. He is not serious if he doesn't understand what's happening here. Let's blame the media, though, Aaron Glenn. I see where you guys are trying to take this. Are you nuts? You're 0-6. You make a change when you're 0-6 and you're not winning games. That's how it goes. That's how sports work.
Of other guys that, got to pick their game up too. So I don't want to sit there and pin this all on Justin.
The broadcast, the television broadcast was showing a lot of plays where Justin had not been sacked yet. The ball's in his hand and guys are open from there.
Well, I don't know.
If he's not pulling the trigger, don't you kind of owe it to the rest of the guys on offense to give a guy another chance to be in there potentially to be the one to throw the ball and to pull the
I
ball?
don't see that. Sometimes we got to get him to operate a certain way. I mean, that happens to a lot of guys. You just can't sit there and say, oh, man, we're going to bench him because this. I thought some other games he's played well. So I'm not looking at this as just, man, he played a bad game, I'm going to bench him. I don't see it that way.
Okay, how about then you listen to your coaches who could tell you, hey, Aaron, Fields, he has guys open. He's not pulling the trigger. How about you listen to your coaches? Or if you're not just a defensive coach, Aaron Glenn, like you claim not to be, how about you listen to what your eyes should be showing you, right? Listen to your eyes, if that makes sense. You're seeing guys open. He's not throwing the ball. Don't give me the got to watch the tape. All right? For whatever reason, your offense wasn't working today. You could make a big change at quarterback for a half. It could be Fields' job starting next week. You bench him for the half for Tyrod, you win today. You could go back to Fields next week at home against Carolina and just say it wasn't his day. That's why Tyrod's on this team. All right? Sometimes the starting pitcher in baseball doesn't have it, and you got to go to the bullpen. You're 0-6. These are all legitimately fair questions. And if you don't want to talk about making a quarterback change for next week, how about at halftime today? How was that not on the table? They were afraid to let Justin Fields throw at the end of the first half. You can't play NFL football that way. That's not how this league works. Oh, my God, this coach has no clue about anything.
Last one.
Before the first game, you told us last 4 minutes of each half are the head coaches.
Absolutely.
Last 4 minutes of the first half didn't go great for you guys today. Last 4 minutes didn't go great today. Second half. I would say last week in Dallas, first half.
Yeah.
How do you feel like you've done in those?
I think the decisions have been the correct decisions.
No, they haven't.
Sometimes we just.
You think the decisions have been the correct decisions? What a clown. He has no clue, folks. Not a clue. How about some accountability, Mr. Accountability?
And execute it. And that's okay, just like today's decision was, man, I do not want to give this offense the ball back at the 49 with a timeout. I mean, with time on the clock. I don't think that's smart. And I think what we did, knowing we were going to get the ball back at second half, man, let's keep it. You know, even on this one, we ended up moving the ball, fairly well. We just didn't get a chance to, those guys sending a whole lot of pressure and sacked our quarterback. So we didn't execute. I think, I didn't want to put a 45-yard field, or a 60-some-yard, 8-yard field goal, 65-yard field goal on our kicker, and he's never done that. We set the line with the 35. So, listen, I do know this. I can improve in those situations too, though. I'm not going to sit there and just put on the player. That's on me also. A number of things. But we all have to work together to get better at those things too, though.
Thanks, everyone. Justin's coming in next.
Oh, my God. Okay. Disgrace. If you are defending Aaron Glenn today, you are a fool. You are a fool. This was as bad of a coach game by a Jet head coach as you will ever see. Anyone with eyes knew they needed to make a quarterback change. Anyone with eyes knew they completely botched the end of the first half. Anyone with eyes knew they completely botched their final opportunity to get into field goal range for Nick Folk. The first half today, the Jets offense had 5 possessions for 32 total yards. They only got 2 field goals because they were set up by a turnover by the defense, finally, and they were set up by an excellent return on kickoff by Kene Nwanu. That's it. That's how they were able to do anything in the first half. And they completely squandered what was an excellent performance by the defense. Jermaine being back, making plays. Will McDonald played well today. Brownlee was awesome. That guy's a dog. That guy is physical. He's ready to tackle. I don't care if Michael Carter is cleared from his concussion next week. He's on the bench. Brownlee's playing. They wasted it. Absolutely wasted a just pathetic performance by their quarterback and by the head coach for not pulling the plug at halftime or in the third quarter or at any point. At any point, Tyrod Taylor would have stood there and gave you a better chance to win. He would not have been sacked 9 times. Justin Fields getting sacked 9 times is not on the offensive line. How many times did Fields stand there and hold the ball? And if you go back and credit to Kurt Warner on the broadcast for pointing it out, there were guys open. Brutal. I'm so disgusted with this team. And really, the bigger problem, this head coach. Because if he is in over his head, it doesn't matter what pick the Jets have in the draft this year for everyone who's excited about tanking. It doesn't matter. You're not going to win anything. You won't win if your coach is this inept. You don't have a chance. You don't have a prayer When it's this bad, the one and done conversation needs to happen. And the idea that Aaron Glenn deserves a year 2 no matter what is total BS. He doesn't. He doesn't. This team continues to get worse, not better. And I'm glad that Brian Costello asked him about the line Glenn sent over the summer when he was pumping his chest about how well this team is going to be coached. How the final 4 minutes at the end of each half is when you could really see if you're well coached or not. He asked him about that in the presser. And Glenn trying to be like, well, I think we made the right calls. The execution just hasn't happened. Yeah. You want to know why the execution hasn't happened? Because your team is poorly coached. But please tell us again how you had another great week of practice. Joke. Someone should have asked Aaron Glenn at the end of this presser, hey, AG, I know you're 0-6, but would you count this as a moral victory? I mean, losing this game is just disgusting. It's grotesque. It is absolutely grotesque to lose that game. It's just, it boggles the mind. Wow. We knew this team probably was not going to be very good this year. We were talking about one of the worst Jet teams we've ever seen. The last time the New York Jets were 0-6 was the 2020 season. That team won 2 games. That team had Frank Gore as his leading rusher. They had no talent. Adam Gase probably benches Justin Fields today. I'll tell you that much. Robert Saleh benches Justin Fields today. Rich Kotite probably would have benched Justin Fields today. That's where we're at. That's how bad it is right now. I don't know how anyone could defend this coach. I don't get it. 11 games to go. Justin Fields today. 9 passes completed. Sacked 9 times. Jets football, baby. Smell the greatness. Unbelievable. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. We're presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. I don't care what the line is next week. I am going to continue to pick against the Jets until they actually win a game. I don't care who they play. I don't care if their schedule softens up. Oh, but Jake, they got some winnable games coming up. They're playing Carolina. They're playing Cincinnati. Oh, they're going to play the Browns. And do you think the Jets are going to win those games? Based on what? Based on what? I'd love to know. Based on what? What have you seen? Joke. Some super chats, then your calls. Reminder for those tuning in late, we're going to give away a Garrett Wilson rivalry jersey. Thanks to my friends at Fanatics for sponsoring the giveaway. I have it right here. They were nice enough to send me a Sauce Gardner rivalry jersey. They look, I think, much better in person than I originally thought. So we'll make someone's day, I hope, by giving that away at the end of the post game here. But what a joke, folks. Fire Aaron Glenn starts us off, and he says, fire Aaron Glenn. Well, I'll tell you what, you might be onto something.
The practices have been damn good. They are, but
joke. Darth Crypto, worst coaching a Jets team I've ever seen. Number 1 pick, here we come. Watch, they'll win 2 of their last 3, and we're going to have to listen to the head coach be like, well, I like the way we finished. We didn't start strong, but man, beating the Saints and then beating the Buffalo Bills, who are resting their entire team because they're the 1 seed getting ready for the playoffs, that really showed me that we're headed in the right direction. Get ready. Tyrone says, we get rid of Rodgers for this bum and pay him $30 million. Glenn's first mistake. Great job, defense. I don't think Fields is the biggest reason why they started 0-5. He's the biggest reason why they're now 0-6. He was horrific today. And honestly, it gets to a point where you got to stop blaming the quarterback and blame the head coach for leaving him out there, failing the team. If you're a defensive player, how do you look Aaron Glenn in the eyes, knowing you finally left it all out there and your head coach failed you by not making the change at quarterback? Joke. Dan says we didn't score a touchdown because we're down 2 scores. Yeah, of course. The offense has not functioned. They have not scored an opening drive. They have not scored a first half touchdown since week 1. Since week 1. But look, Mr. Accountability, he's going to stick with Justin Fields because he's not hurting the team. Sean the mailman, thank you. Aaron writes in, I've seen enough time. It's time for AG to be fired at the end of the year. Look, if he goes out there and it continues to look like this, he should be 1 and done. I don't care if Dan Campbell started 0-8 with the Lions. The Lions are the outlier. And that Lions team had far less talent than this Jets team did and currently does. All of a sudden, the defense played well. Gee, I wonder why. It's almost like they had more talent than how they have played so far. Amazing how that works. Sean, throw the damn ball. They literally can't because the quarterback didn't want to throw it because he was scared out there. He looked like he had the yips. Mike Perez, sick of Glenn mentioning Detroit. You should be. You should be. Luis says, Aaron Glenn is a big tough guy when it comes to talking to the media, but he's scared of his own shadow when it comes to coaching a football game. What an embarrassment of a coaching hire. A disgrace. Let's call this for what it is. If Aaron Glenn wasn't a great Jet as a player, the people who still want to give him some more time, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. You're only giving Aaron Glenn more time because he played for the Jets. That's it. If Aaron Glenn was Jason Sehorn, you wouldn't give a flying F about his playing career. You wouldn't. Chad writes in, Jake, do you think Fields gets benched? I think he should. You're 0-6. I think you should start Tyrod Taylor next week. Play Tyrod till he gets hurt, then you go back to Fields. Or maybe we see Brady Cook. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, I don't think you could look the other 52 players in the eyes this week if you're the head coach if you start Justin Fields. Not after this performance. Jetstream says Fields starting next game would be criminal. This is like when Zach Wilson crapped his pants against New England the second time in 2022. You were going to lose the locker room if you did not bench him. And what did Saleh do? He benched him for Mike White, and the Jets won that game against the Bears. That's what needs to happen this week. Completely different situation because that Jet team actually was good and was missing the quarterback. This team's terrible. But I think for the sake of the locker room, if you're Aaron Glenn and you're preaching accountability, you have to make a change. Garrett Wilson had 13 receiving yards today. We really think that's on Garrett Wilson, or is that on the inept quarterback? I don't care how good Denver's defense is. This was embarrassing. You didn't score a touchdown. You didn't score a touchdown, and you were set up with brilliant field position multiple times. Joke. Garrett Wilson was asked about what happened at the end of the first half. And he said he didn't know what the plan was. And then when he realized he didn't like the plan. Great communication by the offensive coordinator, the coaching staff, to their best player on what they're going to do in the 2-minute drill. Brilliant. Glenn's got to go. This continues, folks. I don't want to say fire him now because that's irrational and we're all hot-headed and we're angry after this game. But, like, seriously, this was a fireable offense from the coach today. It really was. It was that bad. We should be past this. Woody Johnson, stop hiring guys that have never been head coaches before. Enough. You need an experienced coach. This is not like other jobs in the league. Being the Jet head coach is different. And being the Jet head coach now is harder than it's ever been when you're inheriting a 15-year playoff drought. And while Glenn is not responsible for any of that predated him, he's taking all that on now. And this job engulfs you if you're a first-timer. And I said it back in December, this is not a job for any first-timer, regardless of whether or not the head coach happened to be a former great Jet 30 years ago.
And I'll tell you right now, if you bring in a first-time coordinator, you can write it down. He'll be walking out the door again in 3 years.
Couldn't agree more. This job, no matter who they hire, is not a job for first-timers. You have to bring in someone that has already been successful in the league. Here we are. Another head coach in and over his head. At least he dances great, though. Joke. Absolute joke. I feel bad for every Jet fan that made the trip to London. Anyone who lives out there. Brutal. Thanks to everyone who's watching this postgame. 1,500 in here live, commiserating all together. Love all of you. I'm sick of doing these shows, man. It's the same thing every week. It never gets better. Even when the defense plays really well. Like, as bad as the offense was, if they put together one drive and one, as ugly as that would have been, it would still be a happy stream. It really would. If they at the end there were able to get one more first down, put Nick Folk in range for a 50-yard field goal, he hits it. As bad as it was, it would have been nice to win a game. We could convince ourselves maybe they could beat Carolina. Then maybe they could beat Cincinnati. Maybe they could beat Cleveland. All of a sudden, you're 4-5. Like, we could have hope for a couple days even. Just the losing. It sucks, man. 0-6. This team being 0-6. What are we doing? How is it this bad? There's legitimate talent on this team. It should never look like this. Cheese man, Fields, fire Glenn. I'm done with this regime. This regime has not earned the right to draft the quarterback first overall. They haven't. Tom D in the raffle for 5. I said it when O'Leary was on. This team will somehow make this loss worse than the last, and I think they actually did. Glenn has got to go. He's completely incompetent. One and done. Get ahead of it and get him out after this year. I don't disagree if this continues, Tom. I can't. I don't think it's a hot take to say if this continues, the coach has got to go. I don't care if it's his first year. Why am I delaying the inevitable? We really think this is going to change? Really? Well, how? Oh, but Jake, he needs his players. He chose not to bring in any of his players. What Lions did he sign? When Rex Ryan took over, he brought a bunch of his guys with him. Bart Scott, Jim Leonard. Go down the line. Saleh did something similar. Bowles even brought guys with him too, right? He re-signed Cromartie, who was with him in Arizona. There were other guys too. What coach doesn't bring in his guys? He didn't. Josh Reynolds was on the Lions 2 years ago. Wasn't even last year. They chose to keep Michael Clemens around, which, by the way, you know what? I won't talk crap about Clemens for the day. He drew the holding that set up the safety. So you know what? This is we're not going to bash Clemens for one show here. Good for him. But he chose to keep him around. He chose to keep Tony Adams around, who they finally benched today and played Malachi Moore. Right? Like, they chose to extend Jamie and Sherwood. Oh, but Jake, he's not a scheme fit. They chose to pay him. They traded up for Tyler Barron, who stinks, 5th-round pick. He's inactive today. Why is Arian Smith on this team? Why did they trade up for him in the 4th round? Kikuchi says, Aaron Glenn is dog shit. Sorry, not sorry. Fields is dog shit as well. Good grief, these dudes suck. Hard to argue. Jets says, Glenn wants to be right about Fields so badly, he's actively costing the team games. Absolute malpractice. Fields' stand should not even be entertained all week. Just an abysmal performance. If there are any Justin Fields stands in this chat, leave. Leave. All right? Your boy sucked today. It's okay. It's not a bad human being. He's made lots of money in his life. He's going to be okay. He can have big boy pants on and be benched next week. Enough. Should have been benched at halftime today. Just completely wasted this performance by the defense. This is the defense I thought we were going to get this year. Right? A defense that would play inspired, would come up with a turnover, would play hard, tackle. The Jets tackled well today. They played like a team today. All right? Denver beat themselves with some penalties for sure. But you know what? Like, that's what you have to do. More games are lost than actually won in the NFL. And the Jets gave themselves a chance to win with 2 of their 3 units today. And one guy cost them. It's unacceptable, man. This defense has talent. They played like it today. Give credit to Wilkes. I've been super critical of him, but I'm always going to be fair. He had a great game plan today. They completely stifled Denver for most of this game. Jermaine being back was huge. You just see it. That guy's a winner. That guy's a winning player. That's a guy you want around. Brownlee, that was a good move by Darren Muji. Good trade. Like, we'll be fair and give credit where it's earned. But 0-6, completely unacceptable. Omari, Fields incompetent. Where's the fire? Wasted season. He had like that look of like he was afraid to drop back. All right, like, look, Denver's a great defense. They entered the NFL they entered the game today number 1 in like every category. QBR, sacks, pressures. Tyrod has seen it all, man. He wouldn't be afraid. He'd give you a field goal drive. That's all you needed. You needed 3 points to win today. That's it. You didn't need Tyrod to throw for 400 yards. You needed one drive. Justin Fields was not going to be able to give you one drive. He was scared. And then this head coach is all defensive about the line of questioning about that after the game. What are we doing? LX Jet fan says Angstran's limited because his QB sucks. His play calling today, though, was horrific. If you know your quarterback sucks, then play to the one thing we know he does do well, run. Where were the design runs for Fields today? Where were the RPOs? Where were the play-action rollouts like they used to do with Sanchez to get him in rhythm early in games in 2009 when he was a rookie? And by the way, Justin Fields is not a rookie anymore, all right? We need to stop talking about him like there's just like this like long growing process that he's undergoing. Guys, he was drafted the same year as Zach Wilson. He's been in the league. He's been in the league. This is why Mike Tomlin benched him at 4-2. He knows. He knows. He knows he's limited. Hall of Fame coach benched him at 4-2 for Russell Wilson, who looks just as bad as Fields did today. Why do you think that is? But Aaron Glenn's first move, he couldn't wait to run Aaron Rodgers out of town. Of course. We don't need him. He puffed his chest about that, puffed his chest about how they're going to be disciplined. They're not going to beat themselves. They're going to have a defense that's specific for the opponent they're playing. It's coaching, man. It's coaching. Remember Aaron Glenn's puffing his chest about Will McDonald's bull rush move, taking shots at the previous staff for not unlocking that. Now Aaron Glenn has none of that bravado, none of that tough guy nonsense anymore because his team can't win. You talk the talk, you have to back it up. For him to say they're not the same old Jets when they fell to 0-3, and now they have followed that one up with these 3 straight games, he's in over his head. I'm sorry. Aaron Glenn was a great football player for the Jets, but we need to separate the two. Doesn't make him a good head coach. Doesn't. Daniel says, defense needed perfection. Unfair. Glenn's bad, bro. He's awful. The defense played its best game by far today. I'm not going to criticize them for anything. They gave this team a chance. That's all we were asking for. Right? Give credit to Quinnen and Jermaine, the 2 leaders on that defense. They said it's not going to happen. We need to be better. Jermaine said they had a players-only meeting and said we got too much talent to be playing like this. And you know what? They backed it up. Give credit to Steve Wilkes. Give credit to that staff. They were ready to go. You want to give credit to Glenn for the defense? That's fine. He's the head coach, though. He's not a defensive coach. So we can't say, oh, Jake, Glenn's not Justin Fields. He's not. You hired Aaron Glenn, not because he's a defensive coach, to quote him. He's a coach. He's a head coach, right? This was Salah's problem. Didn't know anything about offense. Well, Aaron Glenn, you said you're a coach. You coach the whole team. To act like it's asinine to talk about your quarterback being benched at any point in this game and to be offended about the question about whether or not he should be the quarterback again next week after what you put out there on tape today, disgusting. Jet Life, kick the field goal, the end. Embarrassing. Also, the decision to drop back and pass after I think they picked up, I'm going to rewatch the drive at some point, Eric. I jumped on right after the game. But the decision to drop back and pass after I think Brees picked up a new set of downs and Fields immediately getting sacked, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Jetstream, Super Chat, cuts the line. How could you not preach accountability and not hold the most important player in your team accountable? I mean, shit, at least save Fields from himself. Like, I'll use the analogy again for any baseball fan out there. Sometimes your ace doesn't have it, all right? You take him out and you save him from himself. You say, hey, it's not your day. Not your day. It happens. We're going to give Tyrod a chance here. We're going to give Tyrod a chance here in the second half. Awful. I feel terrible for Jermaine Johnson and the defense today. They deserve better. And Nick Folk and the special teams. Austin McNamara punted great. I thought Arian Smith was great on that one punt return when they downed Denver inside, the 5-yard line, I think it was. I mean, they did so many good things right on these 2 units that we have been destroying. And then just for the offense to do this, man. Anthony in the raffle for 2 with this $10 super chat. Jake, they have to bench Fields. He's Zach Wilson like right now. They will never win with him. And most of the sacks were his fault for holding onto the ball too long. This was, of the 9 sacks, and full disclosure, it was tough for me to really lock in the first 3 quarters because I was hosting a radio show with Mike Tannenbaum during this. And I'm screaming to Mike on the radio, they have to bench Fields. They have to bench him. This, to me, felt way more on the quarterback than the O-line. Not saying the O-line was blameless here. There was one rep in particular. I remember Olu just got completely dominated by Benito, who's one of the best edges in the league. But this was way more in the quarterback holding on to it and not letting it rip, man. There were guys open. Mason Taylor was open on a couple of plays, I know for sure. Garrett Wilson was certainly open. You think Garrett Wilson wasn't open today? He had 13 receiving yards. Do you think that's on the quarterback or Garrett Wilson? What do we think? And by the way, when Garrett was in the slot, Surtain wasn't shadowing him. So there should have been opportunities to get Garrett involved. And Garrett beat Surtain a couple times, and then Fields couldn't hit him. Doug says, why not try the 62-yard field goal with Falk? Because the head coach is inept. That's why. All right. Did anyone think there's a better answer? Nick Falk, it's perfect conditions today. All right. He hit from 58 earlier this year, and that kick against Miami, if I recall, would have definitely been good from at least 65 plus. Everyone's hitting deep field goals this year. They're allowing the kickers to doctor the balls. So everyone's field goal percentage and distance is up this year. It's a real thing in the league. Amen to this super chat. Nick's season can't start soon enough. Amen. God. Omari says, looking forward to my Knicks. I'm out. 0-6 is sad. Look, a lot of you are probably done watching the show for the season, and I get it. Before you go, please subscribe to the channel. That's it. You don't even need to watch. Just hit the subscribe button because I make my living talking about this dog shit team, so I can't get away. You all can, and I don't blame you, but I can't because I'm actually going to this game next week. I took off work from ESPN New York to do the Asmaniac home game that we do every year. We'll be in section 129. There'll be close to 100 of us with bags on our head rooting for this 0-6 football team. And by the way, if you want to tailgate with us, you can. We'll be with Tailgate Joe in lot E26 if you want to meet us there. So all the info there is on the screen. If you want the Asmaniac discount rate of $55, you could Venmo Nick Shine, who's our Tailgate Joe representative, or you could PayPal or Cash app them there. Unreal. I don't even want to go to this game. If we were not doing this event, I would not go. I don't blame any season ticket holder who doesn't want to go. I don't know if MetLife's going to be full of Panthers fans. I don't know if they travel that well, that fan base. They're a newer team in the league. But I don't blame any Jet fan who doesn't want to go. And I'll say this too. If anyone does have extra tickets, I would be happy to distribute them to people who can actually use them. Maybe they could take, their kids to a game for the first time and they could have a good experience despite what the team is. So if anyone has extra tickets, and you're not going to make any money trying to sell it on the secondary market, no one's buying them. But if you want to donate them to your fellow Jet fan so someone can go that maybe can't afford to normally go, I'd be happy to distribute them. Please email me, asmanjake@gmail.com, and we'll make that happen. The earliest I've ever had to do this, by the way. Normally when we're giving away tickets, we at least get to Thanksgiving. And then we can give them out for the holiday season. People don't want to go. The weather's cold. This is the earliest we've had to do this. Unbelievable. That's how bad things are right now. Jeff says, the coaching performance today is malpractice. It's inexcusable to leave Fields out there. The offense today was the worst I've seen in a long time. Wasted a solid defensive performance. They wasted a great defensive performance. Omari, Fields looks like this the whole game. I see the emoji. Silv writes in, how could they possibly think they had a higher chance of converting that fourth down after what happened all day over a 60-yarder? Because the head coach is inept. That's why. I'm killing him for the Fields decision, and I still maintain that's the biggest mistake Glenn made, not going to Tyrod at any point in the second half. But not at least giving your kicker a chance there when you've done jack bleep is ridiculous. Give him a chance. Hey, Johnny Bobani is the first to get memberships today. Thank you, Johnny. He's in our raffle for 10. I also want to remind people that Tuesday we do our weekly raffle series. So if you enter for the Fanatics-sponsored Garrett Wilson rivalry jersey giveaway, you're also automatically entered in for a chance to win a signed Bart Scott jersey, signed Sauce Gardner jersey, and oh yeah, people are dying for this one, a signed Justin Fields jersey as well. Gee, that was money well spent by me, huh? Black Gypsy in the raffle for 1. David Atkins also gifting 5 memberships as well. Jamie G says, if Fields isn't going to use his legs, he's not going to get rid of the ball. Why is he out there? He was a statue out there. Should have went to Tyrod at the half. At any point in the second half, if they went to Tyrod Taylor, I think they win. They needed one drive. If you put in Tyrod in for the last drive, right? He could have operated the offense to get you closer than even the 60-yard field goal would have been at the end there. Military Mike says, Fields is Zach Wilson with a little better running game. He can't see the field, holds the ball too long, lose them all. I don't care anymore. We need the swing at franchise QB again. I agree, Mike. They need the swing at a quarterback in the draft, right? That's how you try and get your franchise resurrected. You have to hit on that guy. This coaching staff, though, if they are allowed to oversee the decision on that pick and the development of that player, I have very little faith in them actually getting it right. Look, I say all this knowing there's 11 games to go, and I'm hoping that Aaron Glenn can make me eat my words right here. I am hoping, as a Jet fan, as any Jet fan should, that the guy who wanted this job was a great Jet, right? All the storylines that we were sold on that were going to be awesome. I hope to God that he could get this team back on track. And we see some real improvement now and not in late December when they win 2 of their last 3 to ruin their draft pick. I hope like hell we start to see improvement. So I say that before I now say this. If this continues, he's got to go. He's got to go. I'm not allowing this coaching staff to oversee the number 1 pick in the draft. They will ruin whoever they pick. Look what Sam Darnold is now doing. I'm not going through that again. They gave Darnold Gase. I'm not doing it again. I'm not. There's no chance. I don't care if it's Fernando Mendoza, or I don't care if it's the Oregon quarterback Moore. I don't care if it's the Oklahoma quarterback or it's the South Carolina quarterback. I don't care. They don't get to pick a quarterback if they finish with 2 or 3 wins and they look like this. Scott says, Jet fan a long time. This is worse than Kotite. Glenn's got to go. This is, look, I thankfully didn't live through Kotite. This is worse than Gase, though. I can tell you that. The 2020 team had no talent. This team has talent, man. You give Adam Gase this roster, he's winning games with it. He's not a good coach, but he did win 7 games his first year. People forget that. As bad as Adam Gase was, he went 7-9 his first year. Is Aaron Glenn coming close with a way better team to what Gase did in year 1? No, he's not. Turkleton said, Folk had a better chance of kicking the 61-yard field goal at the end of the game than Fields did completing a pass on 4th and 8. Why did they go for that? Well, you know why. The brilliant head coach made a great decision, as he always does. Omari, AG, like the person who lied on their resume. No, Glenn is like, Michael K said this on radio this week. I agree. Glenn is like your typical politician who ran on all these promises and actually gets the job. So in this case, right, getting the job is like the politician gets elected. Glenn got the head coaching job, and everything he said has been a total sham. Everything he has said has been a total sham. This team does not want, they don't do one thing better than they did under Robert Saleh. Not one. Not one. And Saleh was not a good head coach. This is not me saying, oh, how did they fire him? He had to go too. A couple things could be true. Saleh was not a good head coach. It was time for a change. It wasn't time for a change 5 games in, but it was time for a change. And Aaron Glenn is a horrific head coach at this point. Jetstream, Glenn's coaching scared. I'm done. What a loser explanation. That explanation I played during his presser for those tuning in late of their decision-making at the end of the first half and the second half. Embarrassing. HHSND, not even mid-October. I'm fully on board the tank train. AG has to be one and done. Mendoza and Gruden. Sounds good to me. I can't tell you you're wrong. I can't look. I'm not rooting for them to lose, right? I invest too much time in this team. I want to see wins. I want to celebrate wins. But we're going to get to a certain point where even I am going to say, I can't root for them to win this week. I don't know if I'm there yet, right? Because if I get to that point and then we get to December and then they win 2 of their last 3 and hurt their draft pick, that's going to hurt even more. I don't know if I'm there yet, but I'm getting close. This team is a joke. Here are your New York Jets, though. Here are your tankathon standings. 0-6. Cleveland, Baltimore, Miami, New Orleans, Vegas, Tennessee, all 1-4 entering play this week. So we will see. How do those teams do? Imagine a couple of them win and the Jets really distance themselves. Unreal. Cheeseman, Glenn is cocky, self-important, prideful a-hole. The Cheeseman was one of the people after week 1 telling me I got to calm down and I should enjoy my moral victory. Now look what's happened to you, Cheese fan. The Jets have broken you. AD says, forget Fields. We know what he is. Glenn needs to bench himself according to his own rules. He's honestly, here's my advice for Aaron Glenn. He should pull a Bill Belichick. Where's my napkin? I resign as the head coach of the NYJ. All right? Here's the napkin for you, Glenn. See ya. I mean, seriously, it's a joke. It's a joke. I hope he turns it around. I really do. I hope I'm wrong about him. I don't think I am, though. I really don't. I have a sinking feeling we got it wrong with this hire. I do. It's just, you couldn't even, like, you should have won today. This was a game you win. You could have stole this. You needed 1 field goal drive. That's it. And as bad as it would have been to win this, it's still a win. And we'd say, okay, maybe Glenn said they just needed one win to get them going. Okay, well, now you got your win. Let's go, man. Home against Carolina. Winnable game before the bye against Cincy. Then Cleveland after the, we could start to build on something. Not building on anything. It's 0-6. Omari says 5-1 with Rodgers. Jake, put me in the raffle, please. I don't think they're 5-1 with Rodgers. I think what the Aaron Rodgers decision shows you, though, is that everything that I've been saying has been true. It was way more than just the quarterback last year. People wanted to act like Aaron Rodgers was the only reason why this team stunk last year. Asinine. Those people had Rodgers derangement syndrome. This team was horribly coached last year, and they're even worse coached, it feels like, this year. Aaron Rodgers not playing unbelievable for the Steelers. He's playing competently. He's got a great coach, very good defense, running game. You can win games that way. They don't beat themselves. The Jets, all they do is beat themselves. And today, it's not like the Jets turned it over a bunch of times or they missed kicks, right? Or the defense just didn't cover anybody. They beat themselves because their coach refused to make an obvious change when he had a more than capable backup in Tyra that could have come in and engineered a scoring drive. That's all they needed. And you could have went back to Fields next week and said, look, it wasn't his day. He was struggling. We know Denver's a really good defense. We wanted to give Tyrod a chance. He's seen it all. Wanted to give him a chance to help us. We got the win. We're going back to Fields. I'm sorry. Is Glenn worried about, the message he would send to the locker room if he benched Fields? Is he worried about hurting Fields' feelings? Who cares, man? You don't owe this guy anything. You gave him $30 million guaranteed. That's enough. He's not your long-term answer. We don't have to worry about what Justin Fields thinks. We didn't draft him. We don't need to coddle him. He's a big boy. Make a change. That's what you do. You make a goddamn change. Matt L says, if you're hurting the team, you're not playing. What if your coaches are hurting the team? Does this apply? Glenn should bench himself, someone said. It's a great line. Which octogenarian former head coach will Glenn call next? What does Tony Dungy have to say about this one, folks? We really care. Aaron Glenn's going to call Marv Levy this week. Barney Miller. Jets are like herpes. Can't get rid of them. They often hurt, and if you talk about them, you won't get laid. Ladies and gentlemen, Barney Miller. Jeremiah says 9 completions, 8 sacks. It was actually 9 sacks. How are we not kicking that 61-yard field goal there? How can AG openly act like he's trying to not have Tyrod start the second half? His defiance when asked about that question is baffling. Bang says 3 to 4 wins brings AG back. Do we want that? I don't. No, I don't. I don't want him back. I don't want him back. I don't. If they win 3 games, no way. I mean, 4 is borderline, right? Salah won 4 his first year. Now, that team was way worse. But if 2 of the wins, if they go 4-13 and 2 of the wins are in the last couple games of the year, that shouldn't save them. I've seen enough of that point. If they have 2 wins and their 3rd win, let's say, is against the Bills who are resting everyone, he's got to go. I don't care. If they're at 2 wins and they get their 3rd win against New Orleans and their 4th win against Buffalo, I got to see what it looks like. Is the defense playing a lot better? Why are they losing these games? Today, I think they lost this game solely on the head coach. Obviously, the quarterback sucked. We know that. But there was a move you could have made to make up for the fact that the quarterback was playing historically bad, and they didn't make it. All right, a few more Super Chats here, and then I'm going to get to the calls and then get back to the Super Chats here. I know a lot of people are on hold, and I promise I'll get to everyone. Brian says, I miss Salah and his defense. I missed the defense apart for sure. The defense today was great, though. That's what hurts. Never seen a team so inept that we had a Hall of Fame quarterback unable to even articulate what we were doing at the end of the first half. Embarrassing. I mean, Kurt Warner, obviously I had the game on mute because I was on radio, but I know he was eviscerating the Jets for how that was handled. That was pathetic. Roscoe, those were covered sacks, not on Fields. They were not covered sacks. They were not. Shut up. Shut up. No, they were not covered sacks. He got sacked 9 times. Tim J gifted a membership. Thank you, Tim. Bino, there are no winnable games with this team. Fields can't process, and Glenn is epically bad. Well said. Mr. Gorilla Salad in our jersey raffle for 5. How much longer till Brick saves us and takes the reins from his dope of a father? Brick wouldn't have signed Glenn. There's no way he interviewed well with the horse bleep he spews in post-game pressers. See, that's the thing, though, Mr. Gorilla Salad. That's obviously your real name. Government name, of course. Glenn, I'm sure, did interview well. Former Jet. Woody knew him. Talked the big game. Oh, I have my experiences from being a Jet. I have my experiences from being with Sean Payton and Dan Campbell. And once again, he's like the politician that ran on all these promises that has delivered none of it. Big country, 0-17. Here we come, baby. But hey, we had a good week of practice. Look, as bad as things are for the Jets, the one thing we can always hold our head high on, there is no team in the NFL that has better Wednesdays through Fridays than the New York Jets. No team practices better than this franchise. We are a dynasty Wednesday through Friday.
The practices have been damn good. They are, but
I don't laugh, I'm going to cry. Cheeseman says, hot take. We've already seen the best of Sauce Gardner's career. Touchdown today was solely on him. He's gotten worse and worse the longer he's in the league. I don't know if that was solely on Sauce or not. I heard people saying it was Sherwood not identifying something. I got to watch it back. The defense was not the problem today, though, Cheeseman. Dan says, Buffalo will cost us the number 1 pick like they did to New England. Maybe. Wrong Verb says, I also have thrown 0 interceptions this season. Alfredo says, my Raiders fired AP after 1 year and hired an experienced head coach, 1-4. All right, just because the Raiders did something doesn't mean that the Jets also would make the same mistake and start 1-4 as well. And at least with Pete Carroll, Alfredo, you have a track record of him being able to turn it around. There's no track record with Aaron Glenn right now. If they're this bad, I would seriously consider making the change. Hey, it's Big. Says Fields is done as a starter, and AG may very well be on notice. If I wanted to watch a crappy team run the ball for 4 quarters, I'd watch Army. Brutal, but true. JYB, Garrett was NFL open on Pat Surtain many times, but the ball either didn't get out early or just off. Agreed. Surtain's great. The Jets had a chance, despite all that. They needed 1 drive. Cross-drag in the house. I heard Cross-drag had a late night last night in New York City. 9 sacks for Denver, 9 completions for Fields. Death, taxes, Jets looking like our Long Island high school football team. Paul Rourke, the head coach of the Syosset Braves, would have had the Jets better prepared for the end of this game and the end of the first half if the New York Jets allowed him to be their head coach today. Pathetic. Jose Lopez says, terrible job by the quarterback today. He looked scared. Terrible job by the head coach. He looked like he didn't know what he was doing. Game ball goes to the media at the post-game press conference. Yeah, at least the media asked Glenn some questions that were tough. And Glenn took those answers and looked like a fool responded to them, or took those questions. Seth says, absolutely correct. Glenn was my favorite player growing up. If that wasn't the case, I'd be calling for his head. Unfortunately, nostalgia makes me want to give him time. Look, and Seth, I'm not saying you're wrong for that. I get it, right? I want Aaron Glenn to succeed. He's a Jet. He wanted this job. Gerard Mayo wanted the Patriot job. He was a legendary Patriot that won championships. They had to make a tough choice. You think they regret it? I don't care if there's no Mike Vrabel part of this hiring cycle yet. We don't know that. Harbaugh gets fired by the Ravens. Blank check if I'm Woody Johnson. All right. Kevin Stefanski gets fired by the Browns. 2-time coach of the year. Offensive genius. That's a guy you'd love to hire. I'd give Cliff Kingsbury another opportunity. Brian Flores is out there from Brooklyn. His last 2 years in your division, he had winning records with the Dolphins, with rosters that weren't very good. Give him a second chance at some Mike McCarthy. And look, I don't want another first timer, but if you're going to do the first timer, it has to be an offensive guy. Has to be. Look at Ben Johnson. Look at Liam Cohen. Turpman says, good show as usual. Keep up the good work. Jets suck. Natalie, please chair us up and call into the show. Natalie, if you're out there, Turpman is requesting one of your calls. Greg writes in, I think the only way we as fans can stay positive after these games is by finding them. Today, for me, that was Michael Clemens. Played really disciplined, clean football. Muji signed an extension. Look, I said it earlier. This is not the show where I will bash Clemens. He had a good game today. He drew the holding call that set up the safety. Nice to see. Sucks. Defense, you want positive. The defense and the special teams were excellent today. Excellent. Give credit to Wilkes. Give credit to Banjo. It's just, wow. Italian Stallion writes in, we gave up A-Rod for this garbage Fields who's worse than garbage Wilson. I'm disgusted in the staff. How could he clap back about benching Fields? Because Aaron Glenn is very prideful, very stubborn, and it's going to cost him his job if this continues. Sad. Robin Boy Wonder says, Fields was as bad today as any game Zach Wilson played. I am now waiting for AG to spin it and praise him for no interceptions. Very effing horrifying. Let's go. Tough to argue. Cash Money Mike in the house. He's in for 5 entries. This Fields game proves how inept he is, and that all the stats that he gained was during garbage time. It's pathetic how the NFL proclaims Justin Fields as a top QB with a 100 QB rating with 0 picks. He's a stat patter. No quarterback in the league is better in garbage time than Fields. No team in the league had been better in garbage time than the New York Jets, and the head coach was in denial this week about it. Remember that. I ripped Glenn this week earlier for his bullshit answer about that when I asked him about it. Here were your garbage time stats for those who need a reminder on how bad the offense has been. Since week 1, the Jets have not scored an offensive touchdown until they've fallen behind by 2 touchdowns. Since week 1, the New York Jets have not scored a first half touchdown. Week 2, they were down 30-3 when they scored their first touchdown in the 4th. Week number 3, they were down 23-6 before Tyrod led a touchdown drive in the 4th quarter. Miami, Monday night, week 4, losing 17-3 before they scored in the late 3rd quarter of that game. Last week, losing 30-6 before they scored in the 4th quarter against the Cowboys, and then Fields stat padded, which is what he does better than anyone. Terrible. John O'Reilly writes in, bad to worse, Fields badly missed Wilson at least twice. Fan since 1962. Fields top 3 worst quarterback. It's amazing because he was so good that first game, and that proved to be the outlier, which is what I suspected when doing the postgame show in real time. That's why I thought it was devastating to not win that day, because I wasn't sure if you were going to get an offense that was going to play that well again. And it all spiraled from there. They didn't show up at home against Buffalo, got their doors blown off that day, then lose a devastating game to the Bucs. The head coach has the audacity to say they're not the same old Jets as he's dancing on the sideline in the game they didn't win. Joke. Cynthia says, AGS Fields. Can or did Tanner tell AG Fields doesn't have it? I think we should go to Tyrod. I think all the coaches should be one and done. Look, if you fire Glenn, I would completely start over with a new staff. I agree. I don't think Engstrand is horrific. I thought he had a terrible game today, though. Like, you got to see your quarterback can't throw. Where are the design runs for him? Where are the RPOs? Where, like, can you mix in a trick play? Can you, where's the end around that he brilliantly tried to do with Arian Smith in week 2? Do something, man. A flea flicker, anything to get your offense going. Austrian Jet fan says, I left the Fields train today. As should anyone with a brain. Cynthia meant AG has his Fields glasses on. He does. Chuck, don't worry. Give it 3 days. Glenn and the offensive coordinator will be gone. They're not going to do it in 3 days from now, Chuck. Mike writes in, I don't believe in the one and done, but if he's gone after the year, he needs to be an offensive-minded guy. No more defensive head coaches. You should believe in the one and done. Why not? Why? Maximum power. This happened last year. To know, I'll still watch. This team sucks. Tom D. Glenn, we're not going to have him try and kick a 60-yard field goal, but he hasn't done it before. Also, Glenn, let's go for it on 4th and 8 when he hasn't completed a pass over 5 yards all game. Guy's an idiot. Get him out of here. He's incompetent. To the 6 games in, Aaron Glenn is incompetent. He's not an NFL head coach. I fear we have gotten it wrong again. And Woody Johnson, you have to own that. You have to own that. You made this decision. Fix it if it doesn't get better at the end of the year. Do not think, oh, if I fire him, people are going to say I rushed too soon. No. Don't waste another year of this. Don't. You're going to have the number 1 pick, maybe. Number 2 pick. You're going to take a quarterback. Don't waste it. Get someone that could save your franchise by developing your quarterback. That's the only way out of this shithole. That's it. Because Aaron Glenn's not the guy. Everything he told you he was going to do, Woody, he's done the total opposite to this point. Do not give him another year if this team finishes with 2 games. Can't do it. Cannot do it, Woody. Don't do it. Mason says, it's 11 a.m. here, Jake, and I'm drinking away the pain. Guess you're on the West Coast, huh? Man, getting up early at 6:30 to watch this shithole if you're on the West Coast. My God. Michael writes in, can't wait to read Costello's next article. We all deserve better. Yes, worse than Kotite. Thanks for your hard work. Thank you, Michael. Look, if anyone out there who watched the Kotite teams, you tell me this is worse, I believe you. How could anyone push back on that? Look what we're watching, people. I sat in church, then drove to the pub, ate chicken wings, drank beer, and I still had more net passing yards than Justin Fields. But we had a great week of practice, fans. Have a beer on me, Jake. Ryan, I appreciate you, man. Look, as bad as the Jets are, and as bad as Fields played today, imagine how much worse it would have been if the Jets didn't have a great week of practice.
The practices have been damn good. They are, but
Instead of maybe like negative 13 passing yards, it maybe would have been like, I don't know, negative 50 if they didn't practice. Peg and Artie say, all I could say is unbelievable. Banks is blaming me, says, stop betting on us. You're a jinx. Or stop betting against us. My survivor pool, I'm still alive, baby. I had the Denver Broncos today. Week 1, in the ESPN New York survivor pool, I had the Pittsburgh Steelers. Week 2, I had the Buffalo Bills. Week 3, I had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Week 4, I had the Miami Dolphins. Week 5, I had the Dallas Cowboys. And week 6, you guessed it, the Denver Broncos. This upcoming week, I will be selecting the Carolina Panthers. RBL says, this looks awful for the 33rd team in Tannenbaum. Yeah, I mean, look, Mike was trying to defend Glenn, and I was not letting him do it today on the radio. He's like, maybe he thinks that Tyrod is, not ready, or he's looking at it like they're still in this game. I'm like, Mike, he's got to be benched. He's got to be benched. I mean, we got into it a little bit, but look, I know Mike can say whatever he wants. He's entitled to his opinion. If Aaron Glenn is this bad and it continues, yeah, it doesn't look good for the 33rd team that stuck out their neck and recommended Aaron Glenn be the coach. Jackson says, when the defense plays good, the O plays terrible. Vice versa. When will it end? Well, that's the sign of a bad team, Jackson. Right? Bad teams have these type of games where like, oh, the defense was great. If only we had the offense. Like, that's what happens. That's why you're a bad team. Joe M says, Parcells just changed his phone number. Oof, brutal. J-Mo, people need to stop with the Gruden stuff just because they know his name. Dude is beyond radioactive. He'll never coach in the NFL again. I don't think Gruden will be hired by the Jets, but I do think someone with previous head coaching experience is an absolute must if you're going to one and done this head coach. The Rooster says rock bottom needs to be redefined. What we're watching each week is beyond rock bottom. I said it. We're past rock bottom. We're digging towards Ertz core right now if we're Jet fans. We just keep digging and digging. Chuck, these are the same people who fired the 5-1 Todd Bowles. Something to think about. Todd Bowles wasn't a good coach for the Jets, Chuck. All right, it was time for him to go too. Ace of Spades said, did they ask AG why he didn't kick a field goal at the end? Yeah, and he gave up some he gave some fakakta answer about you don't want Nick Folk to do something he's never done before. But then someone in the chat made a great point. I mean, he was going for it on 4th and 8 when Fields couldn't complete a pass longer than 5 yards. Something he hadn't done before all game. So, brutal. Daniel says, haven't drank in quite some time, but this team makes me want to end my sobriety. Hang in there, Daniel. Nick says, can't even blame Muji. Roster isn't that bad. They have horrendous coaching. Maybe Woody watching them lose in front of his buddies forces change. Well, the thing is, the change I thought would have been the defensive coordinator if they got embarrassed today. And Wilkes, to his credit, had the defense ready to go. So I don't think there's any change coming from a coaching standpoint. There could be a quarterback change. I think if Aaron Glenn watches back this tape and sticks with Justin Fields for another game, he's even more clueless than I thought. And I'm very down on him right now. Phantom Green and White. Where's Fire Aaron Glenn? We need to apologize. Well, don't worry, Phantom Green and White. 12:46 p.m. First super chat of the show. Fire Aaron Glenn. Wrote in. Fire Aaron Glenn. One last super chat, then let's mix in some calls. Dan says, the Jets had 32 total yards of offense in the first half. How is that even possible? Well, because we have the outstanding Aaron Glenn.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're shit.
That's how. All right, let's get to your call, shall we? Thanks to everyone who is on hold. Let's start it off with DYSL Studio. Hello, DY.
Hey Jay, can you hear me okay?
We hear you.
I'm starving. I'm sitting outside my favorite brewery upstate. If anyone's near Sloop, come on down. I did not see this whole game because I was in church. So I did see like the first half and then I saw like the last play. I think the biggest problem with this game was AG not going for the field goal because even if he didn't switch out the quarterback at the half, I didn't see what happened before the first half, but even not switching out and sticking with Fields the whole rest of the game, they were still just a field goal away from a win. And Nick Folk is money, and he should have just kicked the field goal. Like I think that's how we lost the game, and I am down on AG for that decision. It was terrible. His explanation at the podium was terrible for that. I want to be positive though because I'm a positive person. I'm trying to be positive as much as possible. I cannot wait to go next weekend. I'm probably going to go to a few more games this season. I'll be rocking my Jets earrings for all the games I'm there. But I do think that the defense showed up and that Wilkes kind of turned it around and that is a positive. Like I will give it to Cisco. He's been not impressive the whole season. He fell on the first fumble that we've ever had. So like there were positives today to take. Brownlee looked good. As you said, Clemens didn't embarrass us. Like there were positives today to take. I do think that Aaron Glenn did not want to tell the media that he was going to bench or that he's going to pull Justin Fields. I wouldn't be surprised if he does, but I just don't think he's going to feed that to you to the media because why would you do that? Like
Well,
that's
he's
going to
going to lose
show.
his team. He's going to lose his team then. Like you do it for
Well,
your
no, no,
locker
no,
room.
no. He's if he does it, but he doesn't announce it, he won't lose the team. I think the point is that he's a coach that's going to keep things close and that isn't going to give the media more fodder and more things to light on fire. He's going
going
to
to
stick by
announce
his
his quarterback
players.
though. He's not going to say surprise. Here's Tyrod Taylor. They're going to announce who the starting quarterback is when he's asked about it.
He will, but he to do that when they lose by 3 points on a stupid call that he could have made. You know what I mean? So I do think that he's going to make a change, and I just want to see if he does or not before like we completely cut his head off. But I just don't think that it would have been smart for him to not have his players back. I think coaches at the podium are going to have their players back. And like, I'm not going to kill the guy for that. I don't think Engstrand called a great game at all. So like this whole first 6 games, we've been on Steve Wilkes, we've been on Aaron Glenn, defense. Okay, so like, can we give them some credit? The defense turned it around. Are they going to be able to sustain that? We'll see. But like, they did what they said they were going to do on defense. And now I think they need to focus on the offense, focus on, figuring out if Fields is workable. It doesn't look like he is. So figure out what's the next best option. Is Tyrod going to play for the next 2 games? Are they going to try the third string quarterback? Like, I don't know enough about like their personnel on quarterback to really know like what's the best play after that because I don't think Tyrod is going to finish the rest of the season. But I will say that I think if we can win 4 games, like you said, without 2 of them coming in December in garbage time, I think we need to give Aaron Glenn a little bit more time. I do. That's just me. I know I'm going to get killed in the comments, but I'm trying to be positive and not call for people to get fired. I just want to see improvement. I'm going to go to the games and support the team just like everybody in here is anyway. Like, we want the team to win. And so, like, if I disappear from chat sometimes, like, it's not because I don't love this show or it's not because I don't love the fan base. I just don't like all of the negativity, and 0-6 is negative enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like,
Well, DY, I'll tell you what, great call. I like that you're trying to be positive, and I think a lot of your points are fair. But if this doesn't get better, they got to make a change. Like, they have to make a change. All right. And we could say, oh, we don't like the negativity. Well, I don't like having to be negative either. Like, I make my living talking about the Jets. I want to talk about a winning team. I'm a diehard fan. That's how I got into this in the first place. Like, and Aaron Glenn could go out there and he could say afterwards, we're going to consider everything. I'm going to watch the tape. He doesn't need to give a condescending response to the reporter who asked the question about who the quarterback is next week. He doesn't need to be like, what? How dare you ask me that? I mean, that was basically what his answer was. He took offense to the questioning. It's a totally reasonable question. Anyone with a brain knows if you went to Tyrod Taylor, you probably win this game today. And Glenn pushed back on the question. I mean, that is unreal. And to shut down the question asking if Fields is going to be the quarterback next week, that can't happen. Good call, though. Totally fair. A lot of the points. More of your calls right now. Say hello to Alec, who's next. Hello, Alec. Alec, we can't hear you. Still can't hear you. All right, Double A is next. Hello, Double A. Can't hear you. What a roll of calls here. Purple Belt Mike is next. Hello, Mike.
Yo, man, like I said on your call, I'm tired of this shit, and it just keeps getting worse. I don't understand people saying that he couldn't kick a 62-yard field goal, and the fact that Glenn said he didn't want to try something he never did before. He kicked his longest field goal ever with the Jets, 58 yards or 57 yards or whatever he was saying. So if you're gonna say you're never gonna have him try something he's never done before, but you've done that, you're being hypocritical and you're condescending yourself. You're just word salad saying bullshit. And Mike Tomlin won the game from a 60-yard field goal. He had the chance to go for it on fourth down, ran the analytics, and said, you know what, my guy can do it, and did it. What did Glenn do? He did the opposite. The statistics and the analytics all said 4th and 8, don't go for it. And that's with a decent offense, not a horrendous offense that had negative passing yards, I think it was. So what are we doing, dude? It's insane. It's insane. It's ineptitude, and he's got to go. He's proving every single week that he's making the wrong decisions, and he's getting worse. He's not even getting better. It's more and more and more of the same. The only thing that he did better today was less penalties.
I mean, that's it. 100%. Mike, totally fair. And here's the walking contradiction that Aaron Glenn is, right? So Aaron Glenn says when he was asked the question about who the quarterback is next week, right? What kind of question is that? But this is after earlier in the press conference, he said that the passing game was non-existent. So what kind of question is that? You yourself said your passing game was non-existent. You're going to push back on the player? On the reporter's question, excuse me? You're saying your passing game was non-existent. I mean, wow. What are we doing, man? And the answer to not kick the field goal at the end. Oh, my God. If you watch the Jets play this season, if you watch the offense operate, you felt good about their chances of converting on a 4th and 8 over a 60-yard kick from your kicker who's already hit from 58 earlier this year? Unreal. And this is not to say that Tyrod Taylor is this great quarterback. He could have gave you a better chance to win the second half today. You needed one scoring drive. One. We've seen Tyrod do that. He did that in Tampa. He led a couple scoring drives. He played better in that game against the Bucs than at any point Fields did today against Denver. Brendan Ryan says, how far would that kick have been? Fields has to get pulled for Tyrod. Thoughts on why the defense was better? Sorry, that is a res. Are you drunk, Brendan? I don't really understand the last part there. I mean, the kick would have been what, like 61 yards or 62 yards? I got to look. We go back to the play-by-play of the end of this game. It's 4th and 8 at the Denver 44. So let's make sure we get this right. 44 plus 17. It would have been a 61-yard field goal. I think Nick Folk could have hit that. At least give him a chance. Don't lose with Fields taking a sack. And that's the other thing, too, by the way, folks. I don't know if I said this yet in my rage at the beginning of the show. Not only are they going for it, right? But then Fields, you got to give somebody a chance. You can't take a sack there. It ends the game. Even if you're going to fumble it, as your arm's coming forward, you know the ball's going to come out. Like, you can't end the game by getting sacked. You have to just throw it up and give someone a chance. Maybe there's a pass interference call. Maybe there's a holding call. Maybe Garrett Wilson or somebody makes an unbelievable play. You can't lose the game with the ball in your hands there. You have to give somebody a chance to make a play there. You can't take a sack there. Mike says, I blame Sean's toilet water and Neil not humping. That could be it. Flight risk Jets. Jets fans are dopes. Glenn's a great coach. Oh, yeah. Jet fans are clueless. They're dopes.
And Jet fans are clueless. I mean, they're dopes. They don't know anything. This is a really good hire. Gase is a great coach. Gase is a great coach. Okay, Adam Gase is Kyle Shanahan before Kyle Shanahan. Gase is a great coach.
I think the Jets win if Adam Gase is their coach today. I don't say that lightly. Anyone who watches this show knows what I think about Gase. Oh, my God. Stephen Fox says, if Penn State can fire James Franklin, we could fire AG. I mean, Penn State just had to pay James Franklin $50 million just to fire him. He had like a $50 million buyout. He had to go. All right, that was a untenable situation in Happy Valley. By the way, I'll get out in front of this. No to Drew Aller, Jet fans. No. Glenn isn't just losing games. He's showing no signs of improvement. He's totally in over his head. Kyle Clifton checks in. Worst in Kotite. Cannot blame the D at all today. This is all on Glenn and Fields. Go 6-0. Go 6-0 midshipman. They're now my football focus. Wow, we've lost Clifton. C. Super chat in for 2. Concerned about G5. Also, does something seem off about the injury? Even in the postgame, he didn't really know what body part is hurt. Wonder if he's just fed up. I mean, look, I'm sure Garrett is rightfully annoyed and pissed. But I don't know what his exact injury is. I know he finished the game. He came back in. I hope he's okay. But my biggest fear going into the year was, what if Garrett Wilson sprains an ankle and has to miss a couple weeks? Who's getting open? Who's catching passes? Like, this offense will not function if Garrett is not out there. And because Surtain took Garrett away, we kind of saw what some of that will look like if Garrett's ever out. And by the way, Garrett was winning a couple times on Surtain, and he just never got the ball. I watched it. Blair says, not trying to be mean, but am I wrong that the Jets team is a low IQ, including the coach? No, you're not wrong. Did you see the way they handled the last 4 minutes of the first and second halves today? Does that look like a well-coached team to you? I'm not saying Aaron Glenn is a low IQ human being, but as far as being a head coach, there was very little competency that was shown there, if any. Those were low IQ decision-making or decisions that were made at the end of each half, which, to quote the head coach, all summer when he's puffing his chest how great he's going to be as a coach, that's when you learn if you have a good coach or not, right? That's where the coach can impact the game. And then Glenn tried to excuse it, being like, well, it's execution. We've called the right things. Okay. Mr. Accountability at it again. Brandon says, I think the Jets win if Saleh was their coach today. Definitely. And that's not, once again, that's not saying Saleh's a good coach. That's where we're at. It has gotten as bad as it's been. More calls. I'm going to try Alec again and see if we hear him this time. Alec, you there? We can't hear you, bro. Can't hear you. Reset your stream, I'll try and bring you on. Sorry. Let's say hi to Peg and Artie. It looks like it's just Artie. Hello, Artie.
Hey, Jake. Peg's going to get her hair done. I was totally shocked he didn't pull Fields in the start of the second half. I almost was sure they were going to. I mean, there was absolutely nothing going on offensively. And I was even more shocked watching the whole game. Why wouldn't you kick the field goal at the end? 62 yards. Sure, it's hard. And you know what? We can live with folk missing a 62-yard field goal. But 4th and 8 to a guy that wasn't doing anything all game. It was like, I mean, it's like a baseball analogy. When you get the ball back with the time that they had left in the fourth quarter, you felt like there was like you had a runner on third base with no outs. You know, like you felt like we were going to get those 10, 12 yards, kick the field goal, and win the game. And they fucking blew it, man. It almost looks like they're not trying to win. I don't even get it, man. It's very disheartening. And I tell you what, I'm really concerned about the future. We're going to let this guy pick high draft picks next year? Who are they going to get? And who's going to want to play for this guy? I mean, come on, man. He's got to go, Jake. He has to. I'm sorry. I mean, he was a great player for the Jets. We cannot have a head coach that has no experience like this guy. And in the future, I mean, it doesn't work here. It just doesn't. It's like the same shit over and over again.
And to your point, Artie, the perfect time to bench Fields would have been the start of the third quarter when you're getting the ball to start the half. Like, go into the locker room, say, hey, we're going to make the switch. Let Tyrod provide that boost. Like, One drive. Tyrod is certainly capable of putting together one drive and putting you in position to win this game. That's all they needed today. That's it.
I would love to be a fly on the wall in that locker room. I mean, he's got to lose the players if he did not making that type of change next week. Shit, I'd rather Cook come in. See what we got for the future. This season is done, man. It's over. We're talking about goddamn draft 3 weeks before Halloween. There's nothing going to happen this season except either he's going to get fired or he's not going to get fired. I mean, that's what we got to look forward to. Oh, and I want to thank Beast for being at our wedding ceremony. He wasn't there at the beginning of the ceremony, but he did make it to the restaurant afterwards for the celebration. my party was very excited that Beast was there joining us, and we had a great time. And thank you again, everybody, for the congratulations. I am a married man now at 62 years old.
Well, congrats, Artie. I don't think you thought the Jets wouldn't have a win by the time you would get married this year, but I am very happy for you and Peg. It was great to hang out with you guys in Tampa a few weeks ago, so that's awesome.
We'll hang out again, Jake. I'm not giving up. I'm all about the Shield. I don't give a shit about anything else, and I care about the Asmaniacs and the friends I've met, and we'll continue to meet. You do a great job for everybody, man.
I appreciate it, Artie. Send my best to Peg as well. It's tough, man. I say it all the time. This fan base is the best in sports. No team loves their team more than Jet fans. They get so little in return, right? Like the love that we put into the team and how little we get back for that love. I don't think there's a bigger disparity in sports than the Jets. Certainly in New York sports, I think it's the Jets. I'd argue it's in professional sports too. Like what we have to deal with, other fans don't have to deal with it. They don't. What's the business phrase? Like ROI, return on investment? Like the ROI of being a Jet fan is the worst return on investment in sports. I really don't even think it's debatable. Just brutal, man. Just freaking brutal, dude. I don't know what to say. Let's just get to more of your calls. Maybe you guys will know what to say. Let's say hello to Frank, who's next. Hey, Frank.
Hey, what's up, Jake? Yeah, listen, I've been a Jets fan. I'm going on 35 years old. I've been a Jets fan my whole life. Thankfully, I moved to Tampa. My wife grew up a Tennessee Titans fan, and she knows brutal football when she sees it. But, I mean, this is just ridiculous. First Jets jersey I ever owned was Aaron Glenn. I grew up watching Vinny Testaverde and Chad Pennington, and I think a lot of Jets fans are just hoping and holding on to nostalgia of Aaron Glenn being a great player for us, and they want this so bad to work, but it's just not working. You don't pull Justin Fields at the half. It doesn't make any sense. And Jets fans that clamored over Justin Fields in the offseason were like, oh, he just needs a fair shot because Chicago was terrible. And Mike Tomlin thought that the veteran presence was going to be better for them. It's just not working. I mean, Justin Fields, if you look at him in his stretch of games for the Jets, at least what you could say with Sam Darnold and Zach Wilson is that they gave you flashes. Justin Fields doesn't give you flashes. He gives you one play a game that blows your mind, and then everything else. The ball for a long time, following the ball, going one read and going to the check down, one read or take off. I mean, Connor Hughes put it perfectly. You can build around a quarterback like that, but they've done such a poor job. No wide receiver two. You know, the running game, Braylon Allen goes down. They can't stop fumbling the ball. The penalties. I mean, this team is just a mortal embarrassment. I mean, I was saying in the offseason, it would have been okay if Justin Fields was serviceable. It's 2 steps back from Aaron Rodgers. So he wasn't the entire problem last year. You took 2 steps back when you let go of Aaron Rodgers and you bring Fields in. And then on top of it, you don't draft a wide receiver too. You take Arian Smith in the 4th round. I'm in Tampa. Tampa's got a loaded wide receiver room. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan, Emeka Ibuka, Cade Otton at tight end, Bucky Irving, Rashad White. How can Jason Light get it so right all the time on offense, and yet the Jets know they need a wide receiver too, and they can't find one to help anybody ever? This team is just a mortal embarrassment, and I've loved this team my whole life, but the worst thing my father has ever done, and he is a horrible human being, is make me a New York Jets fan. That is the God's honest truth. My wife looked at me last week, and she goes, "You don't even seem like you're upset by this." I said, "Because this is what I've come to expect." I said, "I could count the good years of Jets football on one hand that I've witnessed. This is embarrassing, and Jets fans should not pay for another game. They should not go to another game. They should not buy any merchandise." And like I said, I love Aaron Glenn as a player, and I feel horrible as a person calling for somebody's job, but he needs to go. I'm sorry, you're 0-6, and at this point, seeing 2 wins, even against Carolina or Cleveland or Cincinnati with Joe Flacco, they seem like stretches. this is one of the worst stretches of football I've ever seen from the New York Jets in my entire life. Aaron Glenn has got to go. Has to. You cannot let this regime pick a quarterback. You can't.
I completely agree, Frank. If it keeps going like this, 100%, great call. I once again, if Aaron Glenn did not play for the Jets, we would, without question, be, I think, universal in wanting him to go. I think there's still people holding out hope because he was an excellent player. He was. It's a shame that he's going to be lumped in for being arguably the worst coach they've ever had. If this continues, I hope it doesn't. But right now, they're the only team that is 0-6. I don't see where these wins are coming from with how they're playing. I don't care if they're in some of these games. This is pathetic, what we're seeing. 9 completed passes today, 9 sacks. Aaron Glenn said they're not the same old Jets. He's right. They're worse. It's just Gerard Mayo got fired after a year. Patriots hired Mike Vrabel. The idea that you can't do it is a joke. Houston fired David Culley and Lovie Smith back-to-back. Then they hired DeMeco Ryans. They won a playoff game each of the last 2 seasons. 49ers did 3 coaches in 3 years. The last one, Kyle Shanahan. They figured it out. I mean, this is a joke. An absolute joke. I appreciate everyone who's tuned in live right now. We got 1,300 people in here on YouTube alone, plus people on Twitter, people listening on the podcast later. So thank you to everyone. Click the like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. For those tuning in late, thanks to my friends at Fanatics, we do have a giveaway at the end of the show. They're sponsoring a Garrett Wilson rivalry jersey. So the one player on this team that continues to play his ass off, you have a chance to get his jersey at the end of the show. If you gift the membership, we only have 17 memberships gifted so far, or send in a $10 super chat or higher to qualify. Anthony writes in, Jake, Aaron Glenn makes Robert Saleh look like Bill Belichick. I can't tell you you're wrong for feeling that way. This is the lowest I've ever been on a head coach, I think, ever. Especially this quickly. Like, it's bad, man. I can't even tell you you're wrong for feeling that way. It's that bad. Eli Betts says, can't wait for the film review on this one. Dude, poor Joe Blewett. Right? Oh, my God. Having to watch, at least the defensive film should be pretty good. But poor Joe Blewett having to go back and watch that Justin Fields performance on all 22. I mean, good God, man. All right, more of your calls. Let's see if the third time is the charm for Alec. Hello, Alec.
Third time's the charm.
Hey, there we go. Touchdown. More than the Jets had.
All right. Third time's the charm. The fourth time might have hit that field goal. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, I've been driving around, so I'm sorry the audio issues have been kind of messy. I'm all throughout Chicago right now. So, I wanted to call in because, frankly, there were a couple coaches that I thought that we should take a look at in the offseason. And Aaron Glenn was the defensive option that I was kind of like, not a bad choice. But the big option that I wanted was Cliff Kingsbury. And I'm going to fall right back into that right now. I have zero reason, and I do not give a singular shit that Aaron Glenn played well for us when he was a player. I am only concerned about you as a football coach right now. And I have zero reason to owe you any loyalty. I have zero reason to believe in you based off what you have shown. I've heard you speak a lot louder than I've seen your actions on the field represent. And I've seen your team show absolutely zero fire in comparison to what you talk about week after week after week. So as far as I'm concerned at this point, I have zero reason to believe in Glenn, and I'm totally fine with them kicking his ass out right now. Do I want that to be the solution? Do I always want firing of the coach to be the solution? No, but he has shown absolutely nothing to show that he's prepared for this role. At this point, the Jets organization, I completely agree, needs to just fall back on hiring a seasoned head coach, has experience, has probably dealt with terrible teams before in the past. And fundamentally, if we do not get rid of Woody Johnson and the Johnson family does not sell, we will continue to see these problems for as long as they are around. It's not necessarily just a coaching problem. It's not even necessarily just a personnel problem in some of the instances where our offense looks lost where our defense looks overwhelmed, although this was a good game for them. We continue to see week after week something is fundamentally wrong with this team. And that goes beyond just coaching. That goes into personnel, that goes into the building of the playbook, that goes into our tendencies, which I've called in like last week and I got a little stocked up with work. But we have spent so much time predictably calling plays where if you go on to NFL Savant, you can go see exactly how we break down our plays to predominantly the left and the right side. We ignore the middle of the field. And that comes down to not being able to read a defense. So we have so many fundamental problems. There is so much personnel on this team that does not belong on a competent NFL roster. And at this point, I do think that if we don't draft a quarterback, we don't get rid of Justin Fields, and we don't just full overhaul our organization, this is going to be the Jets for at least the next 5 years. And I have no reason to believe otherwise. I will continue to call into the show. I will definitely continue to watch and listen, Jake, because frankly, like outside of you and Jets Central, there's no reason to watch this goddamn team. There isn't. I appreciate you both for covering them. Bless your heart for having to do this every day and to cover this awful franchise right now. I have never in my life been more disappointed in our hiring practices. And if the 33rd team comes near the New York Jets one more time, I'm going to lose my ever-living mind. Don't touch our franchise. You were awful when you were associated to the franchise, and you're still bad now. You weren't good GMs there. That's why nobody would hire you again, and that's why you've made bad call after bad call after bad call for every franchise that's hired you. So, frankly, screw it. I'm out on the Jets right now. Thanks, Jake.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alec K. Man, what do you say that's wrong, right? If they're this inept, you have to get rid of them at the end of the year. You cannot let this franchise go into an offseason with a top pick in the draft and allow these people to make the decision. Can't. By the way, this was sent to me by Nate. So this is the 3rd and 8 at the end of the game. There's 1:16 to go, right? Look at Justin Fields in the pocket here. Look how much time he has. Look how open Garrett Wilson is. They win the game if he makes this easy throw. Look how open Garrett is. There's not a defender near him. But Fields doesn't throw it. Everyone look at your screen right now. If you're driving, pull over. Here's the 3rd and 8. You think Tyrod Taylor can make this throw? I think he could. I think Beastbreaker can make this throw. I think this is a easy pitch and catch from the quarterback who's supposed to have the built-in chemistry with Garrett Wilson. I know. I'll tell you who makes this throw in his sleep, blindfolded, left-handed, Aaron Rodgers. What a joke. What a joke. Garrett's wide open, man. The ball should be out already by now. The reason why this ended up being incomplete is because Fields didn't throw it at this point, and it was behind Garrett, so we had to try and make a superhuman catch, and then the Bronco defender, I forget which player it was, made a play on the ball and knocked it away. I mean, look at this. 3rd and 8. If Garrett hits this, or if Fields hits this to Garrett, not only do the New York Jets win the game or get the field goal a lot closer than it would have been 61 yards from where they ended up having to decide, are they going to go for it on 4th and 8, right? Because this ends up being incomplete. So instead of a 61-yard field goal, it's 1st and 10 inside the 36-yard line. Then you could run the ball a couple times, put Nick Hulk on his preferred hash mark, win the game, and go home. And at least Fields could say, as bad as I played, at least I made a couple throws when it mattered. And we'd spin it positively. We'd say he sucked, but at least he made the one drive come to life when it mattered. Right? That's what I'd be saying. I'd try to be positive. I'd say this game was a disgrace by the offense. Shout out to the defense. Let's focus on the positives for a week. We know the team is still likely one of the worst in the league. But instead, we get a head coach who is baffled with the idea of being asked if Fields is his quarterback next week. What kind of question is that? Oh, I'm Aaron Glenn. I've never won jack shit, but I'm going to give an attitude to the media after I got embarrassed. Yeah, look at me.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're shit.
Joke. Hey, shout out to Mr. Bonesy, though. At least the defense did fall on a fumble.
We literally can't even fall on a fumble. I mean, my wife accidentally falls on my dick one time a week, and we can't fall on a fumble?
Holy shit already. Will you stop it with the bad language?
I mean, it's ridiculous.
I'm very happy for Bonesy. The Jets defense did fall on a fumble. More of your calls right now. Let's say hi to Rob, the Jet fan. Hello, Rob.
Hey, Jake. Just inept coaching. I mean, I don't know how much longer this fucking shit show could go. Pardon the language, but I'm pissed. I'm rip-roaring mad. We finally get a good defensive outing from Wilkes. He finally schemed up. Players played well. We were in line to win. And this hard-headed coach of ours who thinks that he knows better, and that now he's copping an attitude with the reporters, which he doesn't have a freaking leg to stand on. Let's be honest here. Will not put in Tyrod. Not even for one series, Jake. One series. One series could have been the game. One series. Because when Joe Blewett goes through this whole film, he's going to see a lot of players open. As much as we're destroying Tanner, and I'm not saying he called a good game today. He didn't. But there was open guys. I saw it myself on the screen. Garrett Wilson was in the middle of the field, and he was wide open. And there's Justin Fields, like a nervous rabbit, looking around, and then he gets sandwiched. 9 sacks, Jake. It can't be all coverage sacks. It can't. It's got to be our quarterback responsible here, too. And I'm freaking sick of the shit, and I don't want to see it anymore. They're 0-6. They got to be one and done. One and done with this clown. I don't want him back next year. That's my freaking answer. I want a head coach with experience. I don't even want an offensive coordinator first year. I want a head coach with experience. Go get Mike McCarthy. Go get him. He averaged 12 games a year. 12 games a year with Dallas. You know what? I'd be happy if he averaged 9-10 wins a year for our team. Here we are sitting here, 0-6. This is getting close to being worse than coat tight. And I've seen coat tight, and that was real bad. And you know what? This is surpassing that, Jake. This is bullshit. We got to stop this nonsense. I mean, it's so inept. You see this team. Mistake after mistake after mistake. There's stupid mistakes. Our freaking defense finally plays good today. And what happens? Our offense sucks today. Oh, what a surprise. And you know what, Jake? Honestly, this game was a game they should have won. They should have won this game. And even if you go back to week 1, let's go back to week 1. Pittsburgh was another game that we could have won, and actually Fields had a good game. That's 2 wins right there, right? Even if we were 2-4, and with the schedule that we have right now, we'd be optimistic as a Jet fan. We'd be optimistic because we wouldn't be totally out of it. We'd be sitting there 2-4. Okay, he's a first-year coach. He's got to get some things right. He's got to get a little more experience. But no, we sit there, we make dunderhead moves. We don't go and get a second wide receiver. No, we don't need one. We don't need one. We sit there and we get people from the dollar store when we could have kept guys even like Eccles on the team. That would have been a few $1 million. But it's inept. It's inept over here and with an attitude. And he has the balls to have an attitude too. You got to stop this bullshit. Anyone who defends this clown, they have screw loose. Because I'm tired of this, Jake. I don't know about you, but I'm really sick and tired of this. I don't give a shit if they win a couple of games at the end of the year and make it look good. They got to stop and get a head coach with experience. I'm freaking fed up. And that's my 2 cents, Jake. I just can't speak anymore. Fuck!
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're shit.
All righty then. Rob, thank you. Where do we go from here? How about we revisit the greatest answer from Aaron Glenn in his time as the Jet head coach? Hey, Aaron. This is not a rebuild, right? You plan on being a good team this year, right?
We're here to win now, and we're looking forward to it. So any questions?
Yeah, when is that exactly going to start? How about this from Aaron Glenn, for those who missed the full presser? The worst answer I think he could have ever given when asked about potentially making a quarterback change.
Justin's numbers are not good from this game.
No.
Is he going to be your quarterback next week, or would you consider?
What kind of question is that?
Look, he did not have a good game. I mean, I think it's a fair question.
There's a number of guys that, I mean, sometimes this league is like this, and there are guys that have bad games. That doesn't mean you just bench them. Come on, you know better than that.
No. You're Mr. Accountability. If you hurt the team, you're not going to play. Come on, man. What type of question is that? A damn good one. A damn good one. Here should be the question to Aaron Glenn. You worried about your job, Aaron? I don't give a flying F if you signed a 4 or 5 year contract. It's been that bad. You worried about your job? You worried about being Gerard Mayoed? You worried about being Steve Wilkes? You worried about being Lovie Smith or David Culley? Frank Reich? I would be.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're shit.
But apparently, come on, man. What type of question is that? A damn good question. You want to know why, Aaron Glenn? Because your team went out there today. Your defense played its ass off. Your special teams was great. You had 82 total yards of offense. 82. This is professional football. 82. It is a league built to score points. And your quarterback couldn't complete this pass to win the game on 3rd and 8 when his best player is wide open. Wide open. Garrett Wilson is wide open. Then, not even giving Nick Folk the chance to hit from 61 and bail out this franchise. Awful. Chuck Wagon is up next. Hello, Chuck Wagon.
Hey, Jake. One of the things that AG said in the press conference that really scares me is he didn't run a final play to end the first half because he remembered what happened in the Dallas game when they had a 3-0 so fast, and then they were able to score 2 touchdowns in 2 minutes. You can't really think like that. Past performance is not indicative of future results. And if Glenn is going to have PTSD when it comes to coaching in the moment, I don't care how many games they win. If they win 3, 4, 5, he's going to lose the job at the end of the year. And also being that disrespectful to the media. I really want to support Glenn. I really want him to be halfway decent this year so he can get better, but I'm just not seeing it. And now I'm starting to think, yeah, he's going to be one and done at the end of this year, which is just setting us back even more. And also
setting us back would be keeping him if it continues to remain like this. You never want a one and done a coach. Unfortunately, Chuck, they're without a choice if it looks like this and continues to look like this going forward.
I can't argue that. It's just I'm not upset. I'm not screaming and cursing or anything like that. I'm just really numb to this right now. Sorry.
It's well said. I totally get it. Cynthia W. in the raffle for one. For those who missed it, this week on the show, we are giving away a Bart Scott signed jersey. It says can't wait on it. Sauce Gardner signed jersey, and the future backup quarterback for the Jets, he signed Justin Fields jersey. So we got that to look forward to. But thanks to Fanatics at the end of the show, we're going to give away a rivalry jersey. So enter for your chance to win that at the end of the show, and those prizes on Tuesday in our weekly raffle series. Brandon writes in, by the way, I brought this up for years, but shouldn't Mangini be our GM? Show me a better roster than he built. Yeah, he's been away from the NFL for a while now. Now, I don't know if he still wants to get back in or not. C writes in, could you imagine the conversations right now if the Jets did not get ahead of the Garrett Wilson and Sauce extensions? That would make this bleep season even more unbearable. Yeah, I mean, that would be the biggest discussion right now. That's why you get out in front of it. Those guys are supposed to be leaders and be a part of this to turn it around. Unfortunately, I don't think they could turn this around because I think the coaching is that bad. And game to game, I mean, most games, Justin Fields is not going to give you a chance. I mean, the only difference between this game today and the Bills game week 2 is the Bills game week 2, the Jets defense also didn't show up, where today the Jet defense played outstanding, gave them a chance. All you could ask for. Denver came in averaging like 25 points per game. You held them to 13. Denver came in today fresh off a win over the Eagles. You had a chance if your quarterback can complete one. Like, really, this game came out of one pass here, the 3rd and 8. And then 4th and 8. I mean, why are they going for it when you can't complete a pass? I don't know if Nick Folk would have made it, but I have a higher chance to win the game with Nick Folk kicking from 61 than I do Justin Fields dropping back trying to get a new set of downs. I do. Remember, though, Aaron Glenn's not a defensive coach, right? He's a football coach. He coaches the whole team. So if I'm going to take the head coach at his word, then guess what? The head coach is a terrible football coach. If he wants to be a defensive coach today, great. Defense was awesome. If he's a football coach, his football team was dog crap. His coaching today was dog crap. More of your calls. Philly Noodles is next. What's up, Philly?
What up, man? Oh, man. Just demoralizing, of course. The internal clock in the kid's head is like an old computer. It's running AOL. Fields just can't. He's not going to deliver. Period. End of story. I got called crazy for last week at the game saying to put in Tyrod possibly. Just looking at it. Just because it was going to be garbage time stats, which obviously with 2 games under his belt where he had an opportunity to possibly win, he's just not going to be the type of guy to get it done. What's even more alarming is that if we're going to talk that we're coverage sacks, obviously, how the hell, as a running quarterback, almost labeled as that first, you don't even run forward out of the pocket? It's like he's reverting multiple facets backwards. And is it because it's too complicated? It seems like the most easy offense I've ever seen ran. It doesn't look like they're running anything too crazy. I mean, one movement every now and then for Garrett Wilson in the backfield, that can't make you not read what's going on. They loaded the box about 1,000 times. I mean, I just don't even, are they not even giving him the opportunity for audibles? Listen, I think half of everybody's kids in high school football could have thrown that ball to the flat to Garrett, that out route. I mean, Jesus Christ. That's a game winner.
That's not even the worst. Like, there's so many examples. I'm now getting things sent to me by a bunch of people in my DMs on Twitter. Here's a 3rd and 5 earlier in the game. Oh, nobody's open for Justin Fields. Isaiah Davis open. Mason Taylor even more open for a first down here. This guy instead just holds on to the ball for an entire lifetime. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Is it a ruse? Are we? Did they tell? It's like they told Justin, "Hey, we want you to get worse. We just want to draft the #1 quarterback. Are you down with that?" Yeah, sure, man. You guys cutting me $30 million on a check? Let me ask Woody. Yeah, just do it. I love you, Glenn. Just get it done. Like, I'm just so confused. It's like you can't get that worse, and he's literally just getting that worse. Now, I can't talk as much shit, right? I wanted Aaron Rodgers out of here, but that was for reasons of other shit. But a backup would have been nice. Brady Cook would look like give him a shot at some point. If they could beat the Browns, it'd be a miracle if they can turn enough offense. That's where I'm at. I've been at. But I'll leave it with this. I heard it on another show I was on with BG. Someone made a point. At this point, he is so bad and inept with getting the ball out and throwing it. You might as well, if Glenn, say, oh, I remember, I think I was there back in the day where Taysom Hill was a quarterback / running back / tight end. I would just convert him to that shit immediately if they can. Just do some other shit. Put a wrinkle where you bring Tyrod out for plays to pass and he's a fucking fake out and you're getting open receivers down the field. Let him run a jumbo package where he just rolls it out and runs. At this point, do some H-back shit with him. Make him a Taysom Hill. That would, I mean, he'd be better at that than what he is right now as a starting quarterback. That's just a flat-out truth. I think that's reality. That's where he's at. That's where he should just convert the motherfucker now. Excuse my language, dude. It ain't making any sense. It's, you know, listen, and we were saying what? Maybe the regime probably won't fire him. Man, you go 2-15, 1-16.
He's got to go.
They should just get it done. Like, he should be mad enough because he hired people to help him make a decision. Woody should just be like, "Oh, that was a mistake. You know what? Fuck, yeah, that's it. I'm done with this. He's got to go. Just get it done. Go get Brian Flores. Bring him home. Bring the New Yorker back to New York and put some real balls in the locker room. Get a quarterback that's got some gusto and figure out what you're going to do. But, yeah, man, I'm going to let other calls go.
Philly, I appreciate it. I don't want to fire Aaron Glenn, right? But if we're judging it based on these first 6 games, he's got to go. It's been that bad. It's been Kotite level, Gase. It's been as bad, if not worse. If they are this awful, he has to go. He has to go. There's no justification for keeping him. None. Cynthia gifting another membership. I don't know if I shouted this one out or not, but she's in the raffle for 1. Thank you, Cynthia. Let's get right back to your calls here. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy thought the Jets were going to win today. He called into my radio show on ESPN New York, and he said, Jake, save the tape because when I'm right, I want this played back. Ladies and gentlemen, he was wrong. It's time.
Get ready for Neil. He will make 13 points about the New York Jets and maybe hump a Patriots jersey. Get ready for Neil. He's probably smoking a big fat cigar and burning his house to the ground. That's Neil.
Jake, you hear me?
I hear you, Neil.
Well, I'm in my car. I'm thinking about taking a banana and putting it in the tailpipe and calling it a life, dude. That's where I'm at. I'm kidding around. Let me tell you something. And I'll tell you what. When I said that, did I think that after the half of him taking sack after sack after sack, that maybe in the third quarter, Tyler Engstrom might do some design runs? Like Philly Noodle said, why don't we turn him into a running quarterback? Oh, wait a minute. He's not a running quarterback, is he? Wait. Didn't he get 1,000 yards rushing as a quarterback once? How many did he have today? 25 yards. How many did he have last week? 25 yards. When the hell are we going to roll out? When the hell are we going to do design quarterback runs? When the hell are we going to throw a little dunker to the right? I'm watching field look downfield. Field look downfield. Get it? And I see guys on the right, his outlet, the running back on the right. He's not even looking at him. He had to have run the ball, Jake. That's what we're all missing. He's a running quarterback. Run the effing ball. And if he rolls out and runs with a guy in front of him, maybe he'll see a receiver before he runs past the line of scrimmage. If you're not going to run the ball with the guy and he'll continue to put him back there, play after play after play, when he's not processing and getting rid of the ball, you deserve to lose the game. If me or any other competent son of a bitch was calling plays, we win this game. They wanted us to win, Jake. They begged us to take the game, okay? They begged us. All we had to do was get 10 yards. If not, I would telling you right now, for him not to run Folk in for a 60-yarder, see, what everybody's forgetting is everybody's hitting fucking 60-yarders. The ball is like a rock. Everybody's hitting inflated balls. The 50-yard field goal is now the 60-yard field goal. It's no different. When Folk hit the 58-yarder last week, it was good from 68. What the fuck? Kick the field goal. Give me a goddamn shot. Run. You got a quarterback that runs. Run the goddamn ball with you idiot. Jesus! Nobody said it. When is he going to run, Jake? When? Why, you worry about his concussion? If he's concussed, get him the F out and put the other kid Cook in, whoever the hell it is, and let him run. Out pattern, a 6-yard out to Garrett. He throws it friggin' 5 yards to the inside of him. Come on now. Straveler would have won that game. Straveler.
I think you're right, as sad as that is, Neil. I love you. Hang in there.
Straveler would have won the game. Jake, Straveler would have won this game because he can run. He's got balls. This kid's got no balls. He's afraid to run. Just like that goddamn child, Zach. Same shit. Different number on the uniform.
These goddamn exploding cigars. I gotta go, Jake. I'll call back later. Shit.
Oh, the Jets are actually killing us. Neil, I love you, man. Hang in there. I think Neil's right, though. I think Strebler is able to hit this pass, no? I honestly, most of us watching the show could hit this pass. Can't blame the O-line for this. Can't blame the O-line for this one. This is a quarterback who got sacked 9 times today. That's not on the offensive line. Every O-line is going to allow a couple sacks a game. All right, that happens. You don't think Tyrod Taylor could have completed these passes? This head coach having the unmitigated gall to be like, what kind of question is that when asked if Fields is the quarterback next week? Come on, dude. And you know what you say? Say, I got to watch the tape and evaluate everything. I'm not going to comment on that just yet. Don't do the, what kind of question is that nonsense? You kidding me? Glenn's lost, dude. And here's what's really sad, right? Dan Hansis said this. He's spot on. The best move for the Jets was to send 62-year-old Nick Folk to make a 62-yard field goal. Like, when that is the correct decision, you have reached new depths of ineptitude, right? Like the fact that when asking Nick Folk to try and attempt a kick from 61, 62 yards is the correct decision, that just speaks volumes on just how god-awful you are as a football team. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that Beastbreaker could go out there and could execute some of these throws you see on the screen. And before we bring on other callers, and right now, there's only one on hold besides the Beast, I'm going to check in with the man himself.
Pull up tape. Let's look at that shot. That shot, I could have easily, look at that. Right there, I would have been standing right there. Garrett would have been right there. Slingshot. Come on. An 8th grader could have caught that. I could have easily threw a bullseye right there, right on the pick of the pocket. And half of these guys would have blocked the shot. Where do we fucking go? Oh, you got an email from me today. I want to be expecting a phone call from them. They got 5 days to give me a phone call. I've had enough. This crybaby bullshit, what Aaron Glenn said in the press today was pretty bad. Very bad. I don't give a rat's ass anymore. Give me Rex Ryan. Give me Rex. Rex will fucking rip this team up. He'll tell you how it's going to go. You don't want to be here? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out if you don't want to be here. This is New York City, the toughest city in America. We got 15 of the top newspapers in New York City. We have to strive and get our asses kicked and get booed at every single day. You know how hard it is? Let me tell you something. Mickey Mantle said it best with 61. He even said it in a good quote. Doesn't matter what the truth is. You still get booed for that shit. But you know what? You got to. That's how it works up here. You look at Mickey Mantle. You look at Roger Maris. They both went through shit in 1961 at the same time fighting for the 60th home run of the break. How do you think they broke it? Who do you think broke it? Roger Maris. And you know what? Anyone who doesn't like Roger Maris, you don't know shit from Shine Knoll. I love that guy. That guy did something that no one
Yeah, it is.
Well said, Beast. You really nailed it. Well said. You really nailed it. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now.
Warning! Warning! Allen alert! Shit's about to get ugly, folks. Warning! Allen alert! Hide the children.
First and foremost, I'd like to commend this defense. After that touchdown early on, I think their defense played extremely well. Jermaine Johnson is the heart and soul of their defense. As much as people praise Quinnen and Sauce, Jermaine is what makes this defense run. And as long as he stays healthy, he's a guy I extend more so than anybody else. And we might have seen the last of Michael Carter, the way that Jarvis Brownlee played today. If Michael Carter gets dealt at the deadline, I'm not surprised. Now on to the negative. By the way, where's JJ and Peter Castro talking about how great our quarterback is? Peter Castro has been really quiet for a long time. He said this quarterback was going to take us to the promised land. Okay. I have to disagree with Neil on one take. Taylor Armstrong does not take the blame on today. Okay. 9 sacks. I'll say 6 or 7 those are on the quarterback. And this coach at halftime, trust me, 31 out of 32 coaches would have taken him out. Unfortunately, we have the 32nd coach who decided to keep him in there, which made no sense. This coach also botched the last 4 minutes of the first half. I have no idea what he was doing.
That was the worst 2-minute drill I have ever seen watching football. Ever. It was that bad.
And as you said, why would you call a timeout and subsequently punt the ball in the fourth quarter?
It cost him a timeout. Made no sense.
Beyond crazy. And what percentage would you have given the Jets to complete that 4th and 8? What, 3%? 5%?
If that, I mean.
If that. And you would not allow your kicker, who he kicked a 58-yarder last week, to try a 61-yarder? Beyond crazy, okay? If I think this is the end of Brees. I think Brees gets dealt this week. I wouldn't even put him back on the field. If you can get a third from the Chargers, I mean, the Chargers are winning today with a 4th-string running back. If you can get a third from the Chargers right now, I would do it. We had this discussion a couple of months ago. I'm worried that Garrett is going to get to the point where he is beyond frustrated. I mean, he's yelling at his coach at halftime, pretty much. He's basically doing it all by himself. He's trying to make acrobatic catches with this quarterback. I don't know what you could do to appease him. I'm trying to figure this out. I know they paid him, but you can't.
So that's it. We got to get through the year. He signed on for this, Alan. I don't feel bad for Garrett. I feel bad he's going through this, but I don't feel bad like we got to appease him now. He's got to get through it. He made the commitment here. They paid him.
And finally, Patrick Surtain is a better cornerback than Sauce. I think Sauce played okay today, but Patrick Surtain is the better cornerback. He played great today.
I think after the last year, I don't know if anyone's going to disagree with that. I mean,
he is the best cornerback in football. He was unbelievable.
He's the reigning defensive player of the year. I don't think it's that hot of a take.
But next week, when you and Nick Kostat in front of 25,000 in that building, you can't see them starting Fields, can you?
If they start Justin Fields next week, it is another thing I will point to that shows me that this head coach is in over his head. And if this continues, he's got to go at the end of the year. He's got to go.
Because if he starts next week
you lose the locker room. Yeah, you lose the team.
He will lose the locker room. Absolutely. It makes no sense. Okay.
The Jets are so bad that I'm just as negative with Allen, and we agree. That's where we're at right now. Think about that. That's how bad this team is, that we're actually aligned in basically everything there.
We are. And at 2-15, he's going to get fired. Again,
he needs to go.
Stephen Fox said earlier, if Penn State can give James Franklin $49 million to go away, I think Woody Johnson could do the same thing with this coach. They will not tolerate a team at 2-15 bringing back the coach again. They won't. No one will go next year. That building will be empty next year.
Yep.
Yeah. Have a good one, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Allen.
I hate this team. I hate them. I hate them.
Beningo tomorrow, hopefully at 10 a.m., unless Joe pulls the fast one on me. I got to play golf, bro. Can you do 4:45? So hopefully Joe's at 10 tomorrow. How's the weather tomorrow? That will determine whether or not Joe will be on the first show or the second show guest. Let's see. Root for rain tomorrow. Rain tomorrow. Boom. Probably Joe at 10. As sad as that is. All right. More of your calls. Last chance to get in on the post-game show here. Thanks to everyone who's still watching. Love all you guys. I make my living talking about this team, so I can't escape it like most can. If you ever want to support me, get in our Discord, get bonus shows, your name added to the intro, consider becoming a Patreon member. And by the way, if you join the Patreon, you sign up for the year, you get 10 raffle tickets automatically applied for whatever week's daily or whatever raffle we have going on that week. So for this week, it will be the Field signed jersey, Gardner signed jersey, and Bart Scott signed jersey. Cheeseman says, damn it, Neil. I love you, bro. John says, I hope Mr. Johnson watches this show. Hear us fans. I don't know if he directly watches, but I can tell you people very high up inside the Jets organization watch the show. That I can tell you. I don't know if they're watching right now. I don't know if I'm saying anything that's that different than what other Jet podcasts or different talk show hosts are going to say this week. They don't look like a professional team with how they're coached. This loss today was inexcusable. More of your calls here. Let's say hi to Mac, who's up next on our show. Hey, Mac.
Hey, Jake. How you doing?
What's up, Mac?
Love the content as always. Good to see you again. I had surgery this week, and during surgery, I died, and they brought me back.
Wow.
And then
I'm glad you're okay. Is everything okay? Like you're alive,
Yeah,
obviously?
I had a hernia repair, and, it didn't go so good. But the night after surgery was so painful. Today was just like it. Just like it, watching the friggin' Jets. I watched the Kotite era. I'm 53. I watched all the older, all them guys. I'm telling you, even the 96 season. Neil O'Donnell came in. They don't talk about this. He came in his first year after the big contract. He hurt his ankle. He was out for the rest of the 96 season. They still scored a touchdown with a friggin' punter. A punter. They brought a punter in the game just to get the win. They could have done that today. I mean, I couldn't believe it. That was horrible today. How much more of this team can we stand? This coach has got to go.
It's sad, Mac, but I don't know if there's any other answer. Like
At least
if it looks like this, like if it doesn't get better, I don't know how you justify bringing him back for another year.
The old time coaches, they would at least bench people, Parcells even benched. I love Neil O'Donnell. Neil played in the week 5 game there in 97. He was doing crappy, so he got benched at halftime. They brought Glenn Foley in. They still won the game and beat the Patriots. That's how you do it. The quarterback could be great. Neil was great. That first game, 41-3, he threw 5 touchdowns. He had no picks. He threw for 270 yards. Our team had over 200 yards rushing. That's my absolute favorite Jet game of all time. That was Jets football. But even then, Neil being that good, he still had his off days. He did. That was his downfall. And even then, Parcells knew to bench him at halftime and get somebody else in there. And he did it. That's how you got to coach. That wasn't coaching today. He blew it at the last minute. He really did. We had that game in the bag.
Mac, I agree. And I'm hoping that Aaron Glenn just learns from this and it never happens again and they show improvement. I mean, there's nothing to feel good about with this team right now, though. It'd be disingenuous for anyone to tell you otherwise. They are, until proven, the worst team in the NFL. And their head coach today looks like he's completely in over his head. And I'm not giving him another year with the first pick in the draft to ruin a young quarterback if it continues to be this bad. I'm just not doing it.
They got to keep MC2 out, too. That kid that came in today, he looked awesome. I love him. I hope they keep him in there.
Jarvis Brownlee Jr., I thought he was tremendous today. 100%.
Good player. Yes, he is.
Well, Mac, I'm glad that you're alive and the Jets didn't kill you. So hopefully better days ahead for the Jets and obviously for you health-wise, Mac. Appreciate you calling in.
Thank you. Take care.
Mac checking in. Once I figured out I had to mute him so I could then speak, the echo went away. For those of you talking about Mac's echo there. But Mac, hope you're healthy. Hang in there. Lou B checks in. It's Woody's time to clean house. He would be right. If Woody Johnson is not thinking about that, he's not doing his job as the owner of the team. He's not. I know we all want to get on Woody, and he's a terrible owner. He is. But he's not doing – this would not be overreacting if he's not thinking about making a change. Aaron Glenn is inept. He has not earned the benefit of the doubt. There's not a thing the Jets do better that they did under Robert Saleh. Not one thing. Not one thing. Tell me what that thing is. They haven't scored a first half touchdown since week 1. Are they a better offensive team? No. I mean, I guess statistically they might be because Justin Fields is the king of garbage time, as we know. That's why they had no offense today. It wasn't garbage time. Every team has their outlier game, right? Geno Smith had the perfect passer rating game. Down in Miami, for example, Zach Wilson looked good for 2 quarters against the Chiefs on Sunday night, and we went, oh, my God, yeah, he's arrived. Woo! He sucks ass, right? We had the flash in the pan, Mike White games. Oh, yeah, like every team's capable of having like a game. This team does nothing better than what they previously did. Nothing. Cash Money Mike is next. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Jake, how you doing? I shouldn't say how you doing. We all know how you're doing.
Yeah.
Just one thing I have to say, like, why is the offensive coordinator not rolling Justin Fields out? Roll him out. I'm watching the LA Rams game out, and they're rolling out their 45-year-old quarterback and getting wide open shots. Why are they not rolling this guy out to get more time? Because he's only looking at one side of the field. Rolling him out gives him the option to throw to the running back or throw to that one side of the field, gives him less time to think about holding the ball shorter. So that's one thing that I'm upset about the offensive coordinator. 2, they just kept running the ball too much, and I totally understand that that's their only offense. But to a point, it was so predictable. They were putting 8 guys on the box every single time. And at one time they passed on the first down, it worked. They ended up getting 7 yards. They have to mix it up a little more than doing run, pass, run, pass, run, pass. Pass the ball first down every other or every 3 times, series. But it seems like they're running the ball first down every time. It's like Clay Bellinger hitting the first pitch on every fucking baseball game. I don't understand what the Jets are doing. I'm sick and tired of Aaron Glenn. I'm a huge Aaron Glenn football fan of him being a cornerback. But as a coach, this dude got to go. I mean, I agree with the last caller. Everyone needs to go. And I'm to a point where I don't even see them winning 2 games. I'm looking at I have the Cowboys game on against the Panthers. Panthers about to score and take the lead against the Cowboys.
Oh, that is not a game that the Jets are gonna win or anything like that. Like could they win? Sure, and I don't think they're gonna finish 0-17. So there will be some wins, but the idea that the Jets are gonna be able to beat the Panthers, who you're right are about to take the lead in the 4th quarter against Dallas, a team that just whipped the crap out of the Jets a week ago. Like that's not an easy win by any means. None of these games are easy. The Jets are the worst team in football. Until proven otherwise.
The only game I see them winning is the Browns because they got no quarterback. I mean, who knows about Gabriel? He's the second time he's playing quarterback this week, and they're already losing.
You know what they do have though? They have a real head coach who's been a 2-time coach of the year, and they have Myles Garrett and a defense that plays hard for Jim Schwartz. So
you're right,
that's an easy win.
Yeah, you're right. And then the other one is New Orleans. That's the easy one. That's towards the end of the season.
Right.
So we're gonna be 0-15 before they play the Saints. You know, who knows? I don't see them winning 2 games, maybe 1, 2 at best. I don't see them anything. And again, I don't want them picking the quarterback. This regime picking a quarterback. I think they should go after. I agree with one caller, pick up Flores. I'm still skeptical about him. I don't want another defensive coordinator, and I get he's from Brooklyn, and I like Flores. I wanted Flores from the get-go. I think they need an offensive coordinator who's done it before, right? Who coached a really bad team before, and bring that person in. And then take it from there because and I like Kingsbury in Washington. I like that guy, but I don't see him taking this job either. We are a no-win situation sports organization. Are we the worst sports organization out of all 4 major sports? 100%. I think we're even worse than some WNBA teams. That's how bad we are. So I bleed green. I love the green. And that's why I'm called Cash Money Mike. So I did hit the parlay on a lot of unders on the Jets. So, but yeah, that's what I have, Jake. I always follow you. I always support you, no matter how bad the Jets will play. I'm gonna try to get. I'm gonna try to be a much better caller. I know on September I was an honoree. I'm gonna try to get into that top 10 for October. So start hearing from Cash Money Mike more often.
Mike, appreciate you, man.
The practices have been damn good. They are, but
Hey, Gator, I'm going to need you to update my Aaron Glenn plane crash clip to 0-6 now on the podium. Right now it says 0-5. Take a look.
the practices have been damn good. They are, but
I'm going to update that one to 0-6. Joke. Absolute joke of a franchise. Best fans in sports. And there's not a single fan base that gets a worse ROI than the Jet fan. A joke. Jacksonville about to retake the lead. Look what they're doing. Great coaching, right? And by the way, you know it's pathetic when Peter Schrager, who is very pro-Jets, I think he was at Christopher Johnson or Woody Johnson's wedding. Like, he has a very good relationship with one of the Johnson brothers, right? He's on NFL Network, or he's on ESPN now, right? So when you've lost Peter Schrager, because this guy is Mr. Pro-Jet. And he tweeted, the Jaguars have a first-year head coach, first-time OC, first-time DC, and a first-year GM, and they're figuring it out. Frustrating first 6 games for Gang Green, knowing there's no real excuses. None. Head coach, one and done. Aaron Glenn, Gerard Mayo. Get familiar, because you're going to get mayoed. I don't want this to be the case. I really don't. I'm not keeping Aaron Glenn another year if it remains this bad. I don't care if he was a great Jet. Let's evaluate him for the job he's now in, head coach of the NYJ, and he's failing. Stephen Fox, Mason Taylor being targeted once is a crime. Well, here's why. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at your screens. Let me go full screen with this. Here's Mason Taylor, full still shot of the 3rd and 5. Fields, ample time to throw. Mason Taylor wide open for the first down. This is the type of BS we're talking about. But Aaron Glenn, don't you dare ask him if they're going to make a change at quarterback. What type of question is that, man? I'm Aaron Glenn. I know all. Look at me. We're the New York Jets. We're shit.
Justice's numbers are not good from this game. Is he going to be your quarterback next week, or would you consider?
what kind of question is that?
Look, he did not have a good game. I mean, I think it's a fair question.
There's a number of guys that, I mean, sometimes this league is like this, and there are guys that have bad games. That doesn't mean you just bench them. Come on, you know better than that.
Come on, you know better than that. Let me scold you. I'm Aaron Glenn. I know all about football. You're 0-6, Aaron. Win a game. I dare you. Win one football game. You can't even do that. You're here to win now, though, right?
We're here to win now, and we're looking forward to it. So any questions?
Yeah, is this an unfair question, Aaron? You're going to chastise my question? When the fuck are you going to win a game? Embarrassing. To scold Brian Costello there for a perfectly legitimate question is embarrassing. No one likes the media tough guy act now, right? Oh, he's putting Samini in a locker. Oh, look what he did to Costello's question or Connor Hughes' question over the summer. Oh. Not so funny now. Let's just dance, though, right, Aaron Glenn? Joke. I'm sorry. I'm so angry with everything that has happened with this team. And it's just this fan base deserves so much more than the BS we deal with, like this head coach. Blue and yellow blood. This team needs to stay same old Jets so we can get the #1 draft pick. No. See, here's the thing. Same old Jets are going to win 2 of their last 3. It's going to save the head coach's job, and they won't get the #1 pick. Not that the #1 pick guarantees anything with this coach. Trade Sauce, Breeze, Quinnen. Salo made Sherwood bring right. All right, I'm just not going to address half the nonsense in that one. John writes in, good thing he ran Rodgers out of town because his team would definitely be looking to him for some leadership. Yeah, imagine that. Let me tell you something. Do you think Aaron Rodgers makes this pass blindfolded, left-handed? Or this one? Remember, Garrett Wilson, him and Aaron Rodgers, they couldn't get along. They couldn't figure it out. All right, well, I hope Garrett's happy with Justin Fields right now because he can't play. More of your calls. Smash is up next. Hello, Smash.
What up, Jimmy?
Are you calling us while taking a shit?
I'm actually I had to get some peace and quiet real quick.
There's like music going on in the background.
Yeah, that's my wife listening to music right
Okay.
now. And everything. I just needed to come into I'm at a point where it's just like,
Hey, Smash, do me a favor. I don't think it's a problem, but I want to mess with YouTube's like copyright stuff with music. Can you call back when there's no music in the background from somewhere, and I'll put you right back on? I just don't want to deal with any issues with this post game here. Let's say hello to Spencer, who's next. Hello, Spencer.
What's up, Jake? Dude, I can't, bro. I can't. You know, I'm sitting here, I'm watching these games, and I'm just like, what are we doing? Right? And you know it's bad when, you know, my wife, who doesn't even watch football, looks at Justin Fields and she says, why is he holding on to the ball for so long? Why can't he just let it go? And I'm like, well, you know what? You're asking all the questions Jets fans are. I can't. I don't know what to say. I don't even know what to say because it's getting ridiculous at this point. You know, I have, you know, I got DK on my fantasy team, right? And I see, you know, DK Metcalf, 27-yard receiving touchdown pass. And I'm like, why do we give that up?
Of course, because Aaron Glenn, he had to do it his way. He couldn't coexist with Aaron Rodgers. Oh, he doesn't need a Hall of Fame quarterback that would clearly be, you know, give the team a better chance to win. No, of course not. By the way, folks, for the Aaron Rodgers can't play crowd against an elite defense, Aaron Rodgers has gone out there today, and as of 3:30 p.m. Eastern, he's 19-28, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, quarterback rating of 115.8. And he's thrown for 225 yards. But please keep telling me that Rodgers was the reason why the Jets sucked last year and had nothing to do with being the worst coaching staff ever until Aaron Glenn said, hold my beer for 2025.
Yep. And then, you know, I got a lot of buddies that are big Justin Fields believers. And, like, when we first signed him, I was like, yeah, you know what? I see it. But when they're texting me saying the O-line is trash, the O-line is this, I'm like, are you watching the game? This dude, he cannot go through his progressions. Like, it should not take that long to just let the ball go. I don't know. I'm trying, you know, I'm thankful for this show and the Asmaniacs because this is what's keeping me in. And I'm sure you hear that all the time, right? But gosh, it's getting out of hand now.
Yeah, I mean, it's brutal, Spencer. I appreciate the call, though, man. Love the passion. Oh, it's tough. Let's go back to Smash and see if he's in a quieter location. Hello, Smash.
yeah, what's going on? I'm in a quieter location. Oh my God, man. And the crazy thing is that Jake,
Smash, your internet is terrible. Sorry, man. Let's keep rolling with your calls right now. I know what we need. Ladies and gentlemen, stop what you're doing and let's bow down to the king.
He's the king.
Jake, my brother. It's always good to see you, my brother. Let me just start with this, man. In the beginning of the season, okay, I told the chat, I told all of the Asmaniacs who this season was going to fall on, okay? And it was going to be Aaron Glenn, all right? Now we see, with a first-time head coach, another doggone defensive coordinator, what the hell we got, okay? This shit right here is it's unacceptable. Okay? This guy right here, like I said, with all that bravado, all of that shit done died down. Okay? This is what baffles me, right? Because me and you, I was when the season started, Jake, we both said the same thing. This is a game manager that can run. Okay, so you gotta coach him up to throw the damn ball down the field. Why the hell is he holding the ball for 5 seconds in the damn pocket? Why? Why are you holding the ball for 5 seconds in the pocket when you only got 3? If that, huh? What the hell are we doing? What the hell are we coaching? What the hell are we coaching? I'm talking about good field position to good field position, and you can't do a damn thing with it. What doing, people? Answer me this. What the hell are you not coaching when you already fumbled the ball, okay, on the damn snap? Brees had to pick it up and run for 7 damn yards. Run the damn ball again. You see this man? It's seeing freaking ghosts out here. It's seeing ghosts. Why the fuck is you still having him pass the damn ball? What are we doing, people? I mean, it's the simple 12-year-old that can play Madden that can figure this bullshit out, man. What the hell are we putting out there on the field, man? This is unacceptable. This guy has to go. I don't give a damn if we win the rest of the games. I don't give a damn because I'm at this point I'm shot out. I'm shot out. I'm ready to flash because this product cannot continue to be on the damn field. It can't. It can't. Now, your quarterback had a concussion a couple games back, right? Okay, think about it. He's taking the whole damn plane ride to freaking London. Just had a concussion a couple damn games ago. Why not make it easier on him instead of having him hold the damn ball for 5 seconds in the damn pocket, do some damn check downs, get some drag routes going? What are we doing? But no, we got this first time head coach that has so much bravado. Oh, Aaron Glenn was a former Jet. Oh, yeah, he knows what it feels like to be a damn Jet. Fuck Aaron Glenn. And I mean that, man. That's some bullshit. You can't continue to put this same bullshit down on the field, man. You can't. But you already know Asmaniacs. I love you, Jake. I love the Asmaniacs. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hey, man, I don't blame anybody for doggone not supporting this team. Okay? But doggone it, we ride or die Jet fans. We ain't no damn frauds like Charles Gorman. Okay? I'm forever riding with this team. Win or loss. But that damn coach gotta go. Former Jet or not. Yes.
We're here to win now, and we're looking forward to it. So any questions?
When does the winning start, Aaron Glenn?
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're shit.
Joke. Love the rant, Lowski. Love your passion. Jetstream says, with the New York Jets, where there are no fair questions, only losing. Come on, man. I got to get that as a drop. What kind of question is that? Scolding Brian Costello, who's been beyond fair to Glenn. The media has been so fair to Aaron Glenn. This was the first time they actually asked, tough questions in one of these post-game pressers. They have been very fair to him. That is now done. Wrong Verb says, why does Woody keep hiring con artists? Because he's a terrible owner till proven otherwise. Blue and yellow blood. Jake, I'm a big fan. Just don't be mad at me because the team will not win. Why do you want to win now? Why not? What do you mean, why do I want to win now? I want this team to win football games because there's talent on this team and they shouldn't have the worst record in the NFL. I'm not rooting against them to tank. I want to see improvement, man. I spend 4 hours a day talking about this team. I'd like to see some wins. And not the wins that come in December when they win 2 of their last 3 against the Saints, who suck, and they steal a win there. And then they beat the Bills, who rest their starters, to finish 2-15. And the head coach is all excited about ending the year strong and whatever bullshit he'll try and sell us. Why not Rex? I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong for Rex because guess what? Aaron Glenn is as bad as any coach they've ever had. And I know with Rex, they wouldn't be 0-5. Do I want Rex Ryan back? No, I don't think that's the smart decision for this franchise. But do I think if they move on from Aaron Glenn, the next head coach needs to be someone that has previously been a head coach and has had success before? Yes. I think there's other options besides Rex that I would look at, but you can't tell me that Rex wouldn't have this team a lot better. Rex would have went to Tyrod Taylor. Any coach with a brain would have went to Tyrod Taylor. Spencer Green, Lowski crashing out so bad. He just said we can go 11-6 this season. We still need to fire Glenn. Wowzers. You know what he means. They're not going 11-6 this season either. So Glenn's been brutal. We don't need to lie. Let's say hello to JJ, who's next. Hello, JJ.
I tell you, this team is proper rubbish.
You were there today. I forgot you were in London.
I don't understand how a team could look so bad. I mean, what sport were they playing out there? It was awful. I will say this, right? At least with Robert Saleh, it was kind of fun to complain about him. There's nothing fun to complain about. I've never seen a team have like 23 seconds on the clock and not do anything. Not spike the ball, not throw it out of bounds, not attempt the pass. Just give up in the second half. I mean, my God, the only positive thing was I got a fun trip to London out of this. But other than that, this was such a I can't even be mad. I'm just disappointed. I'm not even mad. I'm just disappointed. However, you guys told me it was too early to be on the fire Aaron Glenn train. I just have a question. Can I say it now? Can I say he's not going to be a good NFL coach now?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So that's pretty much it. I'm at a loss for words. I don't even have a rant.
Let's talk about everything besides the game, right? How was the experience in London? I know there were a lot of Broncos fans there, but I know what was it like?
Broncos country. Let's ride. Packed with Broncos fans.
What percentage?
Probably like 65% Broncos fans, 10% Jets fans, and then just miscellaneous Viking, just Jaguar, anything else. It wasn't that many Jets fans. The Jets fans that were there were pretty loud, though. They had a cool tailgate thing yesterday that Bart Scott, Wayne Corbett, and I think Curtis Martin was there, too. A couple of, Jets legends were there. There's a lot of Jets fans at that. But, walking around, there was just Broncos fans everywhere. So, but, I mean, they're winning. They're a winning football team right now, so it just makes sense. I'll tell you what, though, Bo Nix sucks, and I guarantee you the Broncos are probably going to be drafting a quarterback. But at least he can throw. I can't believe I thought Justin Fields was going to be the next great, man. Put a clown emoji over my face. I thought Justin Fields was going to be our savior, and boy, was I wrong. I was wrong. Hey, Luppy, I was wrong. There you go, Luppy. Luppy been calling me out on that. I was wrong about it, but it was a fun trip. My wife's here. Say hello. She said hi. She was disappointed too. She kept saying, "Why don't they just put another quarterback in?" And I didn't. I was just like,
they would have won. If they went to Tyrod at any point in the second half, JJ, they win this game.
Well, I don't. Here's the thing. I don't know if that's true because let me ask you this, right? If Nick Foles made 2 kicks already in the game,
Nick Foles, yep.
Why wouldn't you give him at least an attempt at a 60-something yarder? Just attempt it. When we play the Steelers, they beat us on a 61-yard. They beat us. So my wife was saying, she said the same thing. At the time, though, I agreed, though. I said, why aren't we kicking it? Why don't we try to kick it? Justin Fields just got Garrett Wilson decapitated almost, and you're going to give him another chance to throw the football on 4th and 8? I mean, my God. If he would have completed any of those passes, then we would have been in field goal range.
Yeah,
we didn't. So just let Nick Folk kick, and hopefully you get a fluke offsides penalty on the lineup because, they don't want to lose the game. So maybe they line up offsides and we get 5 yards there, or somebody runs into the holder, or, anything could happen. But to take another sack, I mean, oh, my God, man, this is terrible. It's actually depressing. I've never been this low as a Jets fan ever. It's very depressing. It's sad. But what can you do?
I mean, this is as bad as it's been, JJ. Now, when did you get to London? You flew out Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday night. So I've been here, but I got here. When did I get here? I got here Friday morning because I flew out Thursday night, and then all day Friday. So the only thing left for us to do is to get on the London Eye tomorrow. But other than that, we did all the sightseeing. Oh, and we got to go to Buckingham Palace. We went to Tower Bridge. We went to London Bridge, but London Bridge is trash. I don't know if you remember my rant about London Bridge about 2 years ago now.
The Tower of London Bridge is the better bridge. That's the one that people think is the London Bridge, but it's not.
Exactly. Yep. But we went there just for shits and giggles anyways. And and then we went to Chinatown. We're in Chinatown now. We've been going to this casino in Chinatown. It's pretty good, man.
Hey.
I'm up $10.
Well,
Yeah.
have fun. I'm sorry you had to watch that in person. At least the stadium is sick. I was there last year. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, that stadium. Side note: if the Buffalo Bills are building a stadium like what Tottenham has, because they said they have like the covering and it's going to be outdoors slashing. If they build a stadium like that, oh man, wow, that would be a great place to go see a football game because Time Hill, it's like super weird to get to, but when you're there, it's a really good experience. So overall, 10 out of 10. Even though the Jets suck, I mean, I expected us to win, but usually when I expect us to win, we lose. So nothing's new.
Safe flight back, JJ. Appreciate you calling in, man.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, JJ.
The practices have been damn good. They are, but
Thank God they had a great week of preparation, though. Thank God. Would have been even uglier for JJ to watch in person. Blue and Yellow says, I'm a fan too. Was top 5D with no quarterback. Don't keep key players. Every year players leave and get better except Elijah Moore and Mackay. Well, Becton won a Super Bowl last year as a guard, not a tackle. I mean, some guys leave and have success, sure. But also, that just accentuates the problem. The problem is this team has been poorly coached for decades. Really. 15 years. Like Rodgers having success with the Steelers is the least surprising thing ever. Ever. I told you that if he stayed healthy, they were going to run away. They were not that they were going to run away with the division. I'm saying that now. But I told you going into the year that if he stayed healthy, he was going to go to the playoffs with Mike Tomlin. That team is well coached. They're not going to ask Rodgers to do things he can't do. He can be competent, right? Fields was 4-2 with Tomlin. It's not about Rodgers playing well. It's the fact that it just highlights how poorly coached the Jets remain. We were supposed to be past that. Glenn was supposed to be able to take guys, put them in spots to make them better. Guys have only gotten worse. Defense finally had a good game today. Their first out of 6 games, they look good. There is talent on this defense. You saw it today. Jermaine being back is huge. One pass by Fields and they win this game. They needed one scoring drive. Unreal. Let's say out of Steven NYC, and then we'll do Rob, and then potentially our raffle. So last chance if you want to get in to win a rivalry Garrett Wilson jersey, courtesy of Fanatics. Let's say hello to Steven. Hello, Steven.
How you doing? Are you there? Can you hear
I'm
me?
here, Steven. I hear you. Yep.
He was either supposed to make us, better and coach us better, and I don't think we had thoughts that he was going to be like a great, game manager. It's his first, it's his first head coaching job. I understand that, but it's so confusing. Those last 4 minutes of the first half made absolutely no sense. There's 2 points. We could disagree that he tried to be really conservative, and I saw what he was doing. I think we all did. Probably didn't agree with it because we're 0-5. Let's be a little bit more up-tempo. But he didn't want to give them the ball back. Understood. That was his choice. But the way he executed doing that was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Like he couldn't have made more mistakes, and he got away with it. And even getting away with it, the way the clock was running, they were lined up. He should have that's what Garrett must have been upset about. As poorly executed as keeping the ball away from them, he got away with it. They weren't calling timeout. Why did they call timeout at the end when we were like being ridiculous and letting the clock run out? You know what I mean? We were lined up. They should have called timeout and made us either punt or do something. But Garrett must have been upset. Like, why didn't you just make that last play? Throw a Hail Mary.
Right.
Like the last thing to do is stand up on the line with the timeout in hand. It's 4th down and not even run a play and let the time run out. Why not?
Hey, hold on 1 second, Steve. I'll let you finish. I got to throw this guy in the hole for a moronic take. You guys keep blaming the coach when there's a lack of talent on the Jets. They have the worst record in the NFL. They're 0-6. They didn't lose today because of a lack of talent. They lost today because their head coach is incompetent. If you can't see that, you're done watching the show. See you later. We'll talk to you in 24 hours. You bum.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
Don't tell me about the lack of talent when they lost that game today. It had nothing to do with talent. Anyway, Steven, continue. I'm at my wit's end with this team and the morons who blindly want to blame it on the roster, who can't see what's clearly happening in front of our eyes here, that this team is once again as poorly coached as any Jet team we've ever watched.
All right. So don't you agree that, like, not only did he get away with poor clock management and all of that, but standing on the line and the other team not calling timeout and clock running, why does he not call hike at 1 second and throw a Hail Mary?
Right.
Okay, so that's one thing. So what does that mean? It clearly shows he has no confidence, and we see that. He's not even throwing the ball often, even when he's having a good game. So if that's the case, now fast forward. It's 3rd and 8. We have a timeout at the end of the game. He calls for the throw. Yes, he was open. We saw that. Yeah, great. Whoever's sending this, thank you. It's obvious. But that's the throw he missed how many times and almost killed Garrett, which I think he did. Garrett's hurt. His hip, I'm sure we're going to hear bad news. But that particular throw on 3rd and 8 that he threw behind him was the same throw he threw behind him how many times in this game? And more importantly, that's a risky throw. That could be picked and end the game. So fine, he makes that throw. Why? You've told the whole world that he does not have confidence in him. How come on 3rd and 8 does he not, especially if he was going to go for it on 4th, how about running on 3rd and 8 and maybe getting 2-3 more yards? Then you might say, hey, 58 yards, Folk hits that. Or, hey, we have 2 plays to get 8, let's run one. Why is he making 2 throws on 3rd and 8 and 4th and 8? When he clearly has said, I have no confidence in this guy? Why? So my point is, and we spoke the other day, I like Aaron Glenn. Like, he's not even coaching. He looks lost on the sideline. Has he ever really looked like engaged? Like, it's horrible.
No, he has no clue. We all like Aaron Glenn. We all wanted to believe what he was saying would be like, wow, like this guy's incredibly confident. Like, that's awesome. We need a real leader. Like, he's the CEO that Saleh was supposed to be. He's so much worse than Robert Saleh, who was not a good head coach. It's not even funny.
Can I make one more point? And I think you'll agree. I think he had such an out. Maybe not even starting the 3rd quarter, take Tyrod in. Okay, put Tyrod in. But how easy would it have been to say, you know what? It's one of those games. We need a spark. Put Tyrod in the 4th quarter, maybe. And even if they won, wouldn't it be logical to say, okay, but it's still Justin's team. He'll start next week. That would have been easier. Now he's even in a worse position because he might want to start Justin, but it's going to be harder to start Justin after this. Whereas if Tyrod came in, gave him a spark, got 1 first down, and Folk hits a 50-yarder, why would you have to say Tyrod is the starter? It would have been easy. We would have had a win. We would have at least tried. And he's like, Justin's still my guy. Either Tyrod in the 4th quarter would have got a couple of first downs and we would have won, and he would have said that's what a backup comes in for. It's still Justin's team. Or we would have lost, and then it's still Justin's team. So there's no decision I'm comfortable with. You know I never talk like this. I'm at my wit's end. Like, this just doesn't make sense. Like, you don't have to agree with the coach, but you have to have a semblance of confidence that he's thinking about things the right way. Might not execute properly. I don't think it's really strategically looking at things the right way. And then when he does, and we could disagree, he's not even executing his view. Like, I'm in finance. You have a view. How do you execute it? Like, I don't like his views, but that's compassion. A guy can have a good view, and we hired him to have a view. But then you better execute it right. You can't do both wrong. That's what I got.
Well said, Steven. Hey, don't worry.
I'm trying.
We have a head coach that could dance. All right, a few calls left. We got 3 left. Then I'm going to do the raffle for the Garrett Wilson rivalry jersey. Thanks to Fanatics for sending me a sauce one. We're going to give away a Garrett Wilson one to someone at the end of the stream here. I mean, it's by the way, the Jets are not beating the Panthers next week. I thought that would be a very winnable game. Look how well they're playing the Cowboys right now. That team is fighting for their head coach, Dave Canales. Daniel Jones and the Colts look like they have a good chance to win again today. That's coaching right there, right? Daniel Jones about to be 5-1. If I would have told you Daniel Jones would be better than Justin Fields this year, you all would have laughed. Coaching, man. Coaching. So many examples of this. What Jacksonville is doing. All of a sudden, Caleb Williams looks like he could play. Honestly. All right, by the way, Miami looks like they're going to win too. The Chargers just decided they don't want to cover Darren Waller in the end zone here. So unless Justin Herbert bails them out here. Tankathon watch. Cleveland's going to lose. Baltimore already lost, so they're 1-5. Miami might win, so that's good. New Orleans, last I checked, they were down to the Patriots. They're down 25-19, but New Orleans does have the ball at their own 38. Vegas plays later. Tennessee, they're playing later. They're playing the Raiders, so that's big for the Tankathon standings there. This is where we're at on October 12th. Could we make it? We could not even make it to Columbus Day before we're locked into Tankathon. Forget like the Jet season was likely over when they lost and fell to 0-3. Like I said it then. But we're actually like checking Tankathon now. It's the earliest I've ever had to do this on October 12th. I hate this team. I love this fan base. Everyone who supports this show. I hate this team, man. I really do. 3 calls left, then let's get out of here. Rob, go ahead.
Jake, what's going on, man? Long time listener, first time caller. Good
Rob,
to talk to you.
Welcome aboard, man. I'm putting you down on the
I've been listening to you. I think I found you November 2023, and I'm listening almost every day since. So thank you for sticking around for 3 hours and letting us all vent today. I got a couple of points. The end of the half, I mean, I understand not trying to give him the ball back, but what I was thinking is like, maybe he's thinking about taking Fields out at the half and he just doesn't want to give him a chance to screw it up. You know what I mean? It was like, that was the only thing I could make sense of at the time. So I was actually kind of surprised he came back out, you know, even though, you know, it was a long shot to take him out because Glenn's pretty stubborn. But I thought that was weird. Like, if you're not going to let him throw it at the end of the half, then why are you letting him come back in the game at all? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't get it, because to me, the perfect time to bench him would have been halftime. You're getting the ball to start the second half. You need a spark. You're in the game. You are right there in this game, despite what everyone felt coming in. You're down 4 with the ball to start the third quarter. That's the time to bench Justin Fields and go to Tyrod for the spark. But at any point after that, they could have done it, and I think they win the game. Honestly, if Tyrod was the quarterback on the final drive, I'm convinced they get into field goal range and Nick Folk hits an easy field goal.
Yeah, and on the final drive, you know, on first down on that last series, you know, they could have just run it 3 times there. You know, I mean, I think because Fields dropped back on first down and he got sacked. They lost 5 yards. So they were already within Folk's field goal range. It was like a 57-yarder, which he made longer than that last week. So even if you ran it 3 times, got 0 yards, it would have been a shorter kick than he's already made this year. And then even if he didn't make it, you know, Glenn could get up after and say, listen, we were having trouble in the passing game all day. I just wanted to get as close as we could to give Nick a shot to hit the field goal to win it. As soon as he dropped back on first, I'm like, don't take a sack, don't take a sack. And of course, he takes a sack.
Can't do it. Can't do it, man. 4th and 8. You're going to go for it. You got to give someone a chance to make a play, and he takes the sack and loses the game.
Yeah. And the only other thing I'd say is, you know, I don't want to take anything away from the D because they played awesome, but I felt like in the second half, the Denver offense was not very aggressive, and it was almost like they were just playing conservative and waiting around for the Jets to make a mistake. And also, I know they held him to a field goal on that last drive, but to be fair, as soon as Denver needed to score to win the game, they went right down the field.
They did, but they held him to 3, though. You know, like the defense, you can't blame the defense today. They forced a turnover. They multiple times when it was 10-6 and a score would have put Denver up 2 scores, they never let Denver get it where they got that 2-score lead, right? Like
Yeah.
how many times have the Jets been in a spot where they're down 2 scores and they're screwed? They never allowed Denver in this game to go up 2 scores, which was a big thing. Like, you can't blame the defense today. They're the least of the problems.
Yeah. And then finally, I'll be interested to hear Joe B tomorrow with Dart playing the way he is, because Dart is third. Yeah, he was screaming all offseason, if Dart's there, pick. And Membu was a good pick, obviously, but he was saying, if Dart's there, take him. And Dart, in 3 games, he's already playing exactly how he hoped Fields would play, and it's only his 3rd game.
Yep, 100%. Rob, great call, man. Call back again, all right?
All right, man. Good to talk to you. Have a good one.
Likewise. Appreciate you, Rob. He's been a long-time listener. Finally called in. Just took a devastating Jet loss to finally get him to do it. I don't know why this one, Rob. There's been plenty of other ones you could have chose, but welcome to the official call-in list for the month of October. Yeah, I mean, I know Beningo did like Dart. Look, I'm not going to kill them for Dart because I understood not taking Dart there. To me, it would have felt like a reach. Now, if they traded back into the first round like the Giants did, I would understand it. I was good with going into the year with Fields and Tyrod and then getting the quarterback if it doesn't work out. I wanted to see the coach establish his culture, get some wins out of this team, and then you put a quarterback into a spot that I think is favorable, right? Offensive line's figured out. You got playmakers like Garrett and Brees, Mason Taylor. Like, I understood the thought process there. But with how god-awful the coaching is, do we really think Dart would come in and have the same success? I don't know. He might be better than Fields. I'm not saying he wouldn't be, but I don't know. I think it's more complicated than, if we'd taken Dart, he would have been doing the same thing with us. Like, I don't know. Maybe. It's a much better quarterback draft this year. This regime's going to get a chance to take one. Now that they go 2-15, shouldn't be here. I forget who made it might have been Allen. I can't believe I'm about to say good point by Allen. Part of the reason you can't bring this coaching staff back if they go 2-15, let's say, the building's going to be empty, man. No one's renewing their season ticket. The Jets, if you thought there were a lack of renewals following this year when Woody increased the ticket prices coming off a 5-12 nightmare season where the coach got fired and the GM got fired in the middle of said year, you think any Jet season ticket holders renewing? There might be, the diehards who still do it because it's what they do. But anyone who's on the fence, if you were on the fence after this past year and you bought into Aaron Glenn and you're like, you know what? He's one of us. Let's give him a chance. Let's support him in his first year. Let's renew our tickets. Why would you do it now? By the way, as Rob was talking there, the Dolphins found a way to completely blow the game. Justin Herbert escaped an obvious sack for Miami, checked it down to Ladd McConkey, who made like half the Dolphins defense miss tackles to set up a chip shot field goal, and Miami's going to lose. Which is not actually good for the Jets, right? It's not. That's not what we want. 29-27 final score. Chargers win. Tua, by the way, got intercepted to end the game, which just throw that one in there for good measure. I'm just seeing the play now. Hilarious. Tua, turn the ball over. Wow, I'm seeing the play too because I had the box score up because I was checking that game. He just threw one of the worst interceptions you're going to see. This was classic Tua. Well, misery loves company, Dolphins fans. Go screw. All right, here we go. Final couple calls here. Pred and then Raven will close us out. Hello, Pred.
Hello. The only silver lining about this game was that I didn't have to stay up for this because as an European, kickoff was 4:30. So
where are you calling us from, Pred?
Estonia. So
where is that?
So it's Eastern Europe, right next to Russia. Like literally bordering Russia.
That's unbelievable. I think you are the first caller we've ever had from Estonia. So congratulations on that.
Yeah. It's a country of 1.3 million people. So like Brooklyn.
So why are you a Jet fan? How did you, we got to hear this story. That's more interesting than any point you're going to have on this awful game.
I mean, absolutely. So basically, the first ever NFL game I watched was a Jets win in full. So immediate, immediate sort of support for it. But sort of regretting it. Now I had the choice of any NFL team, and I chose the Jets.
Were you in the U.S. for that game that you watched, or you
I
were?
was not. I was not. I was watching with a couple friends, from around the world, and
What year?
was 2020. So I was able to watch like one of the 2 Jets wins that season.
You chose the Jets during the Gase 2020 year. Wow, this is I take a lot of calls. I'm on the air 4+ hours a day. This is an unbelievable call we're experiencing right now. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
What a terrible decision you made, Fred. I'm sorry.
absolutely. And 5 years later, and struggling here, really struggling. This game was an absolute, snuff film, atrocity, whatever you want to call it. Like, it wasn't even a good game. The Broncos didn't even have the common decency to blow us out, like they kept it close. They wanted to give this game away as hard as they could, and the Jets just couldn't take the game away, and it was fucking embarrassing. Fields is not an NFL quarterback.
No, he's a backup. 100%. I'm blown away that you chose the Jets because of the 2020 season. Happened to watch one of their 2 wins when that whole year was about losing to get the top pick. That's unbelievable. Now, I don't know if my merch store ships to Estonia, but shoot me an email, Pred, asmanjake@gmail, and I'm going to try and send you some merch out there if I can make it happen. All right.
Absolutely. I'll shoot you an email, but no, this was this has been 5 seasons of the same shit. If you had told me, like in 2023, that the 2023 Zach Wilson season would be our best record for the next 2 years, 3 years, 3 seasons, I would have called you crazy. I would have called you insane. We're seeing like levels of quarterback play we have not seen for decades in the NFL.
Yeah,
this is a quarterback who's being paid $40 million fucking dollars. $40 million to play this game, right? And he cannot complete a fucking check down.
No, it was the worst passing performance in Jet history. -10 net passing yards. Everyone that hears the sound of my voice had more passing yards net than Justin Fields had today.
45 passing yards total, right? Just 45 passing yards, right? Any of us on a fluke could have gotten 45 passing yards in the NFL. Like, this is embarrassing, right? $40 million we gave this guy. And I was trying to buy into him, but honestly, I kind of knew this would be a disaster to begin with, because this guy has proven time and time again what he is. Did nobody watch him at Chicago? He cannot throw the ball. And it's so obvious. They don't respect the pass, and they stuff the run, and we get completely fucked, And this is such a predictable offense as well. Run, pass, run, third and long pass, incomplete, short of the sticks, whatever. Disgusting performance. 9 sacks and 9 completions is an all-time NFL fucking stat line. You have as many sacks as completions. I mean, what do you want to do there? Like, the offensive line gets a lot of stick, but they did not play terribly today. They played, NFL average. A majority of those sacks were on Justin Fields. And God, the coaching decisions. You don't go for that 62-yard field goal when that would have probably won your game. You don't trust Nick Folk. I mean, but we didn't deserve to win that game to begin with, to be honest with you. We absolutely did not. Like,
well said, Fred. How many other Jet fans are in Estonia? Are you the only one that you know of?
Pretty much, yeah. Like, most of the NFL fans here are fucking, Chiefs, fucking Eagles, bandwagoners who, either feel pity or laugh at me. So this is one of the few safe spaces, to talk Jets and not, openly get fucking mocked as a Jets fan,
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I would tell you that it will get better, but to be honest, it's been bad for 15 years of this, man. Like, when I was growing up, they were frequently in the playoffs. I saw the Jets in 2 AFC championship games in consecutive years, and it's brutal, man. Hopefully you see some winning at some point in your fandom, man, because for you having to get up as early as you do or stay up as late as you do to watch these games, man, it's insane.
11 o'clock for like 1 p.m. kickoffs and 3 a.m. for Thursday night football, Monday night football, Sunday night football.
Man.
And I've watched every game this season. I've stayed up for every single one. Thursday night football, 3 a.m. kickoff, and I saw an atrocity. And I've seen atrocities for pretty much every game this season except week 1. So, I'm still going to keep watching because, I don't quit. But it's going to be a struggle, man. It's going to be
I
a
love
struggle.
it. Have you ever been to New York, or you ever been to the United States before?
I'd love to be. Unfortunately, plane ticket prices from Estonia with a shitty ass international airport where I'd have to have a 7-hour layover in Germany to come to New York would be ridiculous, like $1,500 for plane ticket to America.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you could ever make it to the U.S. and can get to a Jets game, I got your ticket covered for you and whoever you're here with. All right, we'll make it happen for you.
That'd be sick, man. I'd love to tailgate with you. Today I at 4 p.m. I cracked open the scotch because I was not watching this game sober, dude. Like this was fucking disgusting, and I learned from the past 5 weeks, and I cracked open the scotch. So I mean, shit. I'd love to experience a MetLife game, though. I'll make sure to bring a brown paper bag.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you what. If you're ever able to make it one of these years, you let me know. We'll make it happen for you. All right. And do me a favor.
Man.
Shoot me an email with your full name, your address, and I'll see if I could get some Asmaniac merch sent to Estonia, which is pretty cool that we have a listener like yourself who's such a big Jet fan there. So that's awesome, man. Thanks for calling in.
Absolutely. Have a good one, and go Jets.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pred checking in. I gotta be honest. I'm not very bright. I'm a Jet fan, so you guys know that. I had no idea where Estonia was. All right, I talk about sports for a living, so I looked it up. I know where Latvia is. I know where Finland is. I know where Russia is. But Estonia? That's pretty cool, man. That's awesome. Great call by Pred. He deserves better. And hey, shout out to everyone who said, put Pred in the raffle on me. Rungberg, Cheeseman, Mike Perez, Colin. Pred's up to, let me count here, 2, 4, 6, 8. Plus, he's a first-time caller. He's up to 10 raffle entries for this jersey coming up. It'd be great if he won, too, by the way. Make Fanatics have to pay international shipping to send the jersey to Estonia. All right, we'll do one more call here, then we will raffle away the jersey. Appreciate everyone who's still watching the show. Some final scores that are now officially in the books. Let's hit those real quick before we get to this final call because the late window is underway. Chargers did beat Miami. Colts won. Patriots did end up winning. So Mike Vrabel has them at 4-2. Gee. New England was worse than the Jets last year. Seattle went into Jacksonville and won. That's a big win for Darnold. They're 2 touchdowns today. Almost 300 yards passing. Rams beat the Ravens. The Ravens might be the only team that's worse than the Jets. I think the Ravens are still better, but they're awful. They're 1-5, and their defense actually played okay today. They just got nothing out of the quarterback spot. That was a weird game. Jets are the worst team in the league, but the fact that the Ravens are right there with them, pretty crazy. Speaking of Ravens, Raven is our last caller today. Hello, Raven.
Hey, Jake. How are you?
I'm hanging in, Raven. You know.
I cannot believe I woke up before 11 a.m. on God's day of rest to watch this shit. Like, okay, I mean, there's just there's so much. I mean, one big thing that stood out to me is how much our O-line's been bailing out Justin Fields when he has attempted passes, because I've been even thinking to myself as I've been watching this season, damn, he's still holding onto the ball for a really long time. And the O-line's clearly been covering that up because, like, on a day where they certainly weren't really hitting their assignments, look what happened. Justin Fields got sacked nine times. The biggest thing for me is how could you not go for that game-winning field goal? Like, it's within close range, I believe, if I remember how long it was. And listen, you miss it, you end up with the same result you did. But not even that. On a day where your quarterback can't throw a pass to save his life and looks like a deer in fucking headlights, why are you going to go for it on 4th and 8? Especially when this offense is predicated on limiting any 3rd and long, 4th and long, you name it, in the first place, because Justin Fields can't do that. So just like terrible game planning. I don't know if it's they were trying to do something different because like, oh, it's Sean Payton and like, you know, any Sean Payton team is going to be like so well coached. I don't know, but that was just absolutely atrocious. And, you know, I'm not a fan who's very like trigger happy and like, you know, fire Glenn, fire Glenn, fire Glenn. But like, I do agree with you in that if there are multiple games where it looks like this, absolutely, it should be one and done. I mean, Jake, it cannot get much worse. Okay, the Jets are 0-6, and then my freaking grandpa died last week. I'm having a terrible time.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. He was old, but you know, that's okay. And luckily for him, he was not a Jets fan. He thought football was dumb, but he was a Mets fan, so not much better. But yeah, there's just so much. I mean, I'm glad the defense showed up. Obviously, Jermaine Johnson is if not the difference maker in that. That was very evident. And yeah, also this is just such an incomplete team. You know, a lot of people were talking today about such a simple and uncreative offense. If you don't have a wide receiver too, what can you do? You don't have a defined second target. Like, yeah, Breece Hall can catch a pass. Yeah, Mason Taylor, he's looking great, but he's a rook. When you literally only have Garrett Wilson, who's going to get double teamed every single time, like there's isn't shit you can do. And the same goes with the type of defense that we can play because we have so many holes. Like this is just straight up not a good team. I'm just surprised they're as bad as they are, especially considering what they looked like week one. Like that's the part that's probably most inexplicable to me is the drop off from looking like really, really solid, really tight, really good game calls, really a lot of thought to detail to just like completely just like looking destitute. We look fucking destitute, Jake. It's mind-blowing. It shouldn't be, but somehow it still is. And that's what frustrates me the most.
Should be. Raven, excellent call. I mean, this team is awful. They're the worst team in the league. The one thing I will say is that it's easy to say, oh, they don't have weapons. And I think a lot of that's true, right? They don't have a wide receiver too. It's just Garrett. Some of these throws, man, guys are open, right? Look at this. What more do you want from Engstrand here? He called a perfect play on 3rd and 5, got the tight end wide open. Quarterback's got to make the throw. 3rd and 8, game on the line. All right. What are we doing? Look how open Garrett Wilson is. Look how open he is. Not only are you in field goal range after this completion, you get a first down after. What are we doing? Open. There's so many of these. The film review, I'm sure on Tuesday with Blue, it's going to be a nightmare. Where are the Fields fanboys at, by the way? Those still exist? Those assholes? I mean, come on. Just a joke. Just a joke. I mean, what is there to say? All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to get to you the Asmaniac raffle, but first, let me shout out a couple more super chats. Thank you to Anthony who says, put Pred in the raffle for me. Awesome. Pred up to 12 entries. Stacks Timing says, Jake, I'm convinced we're cursed. Jets can't get a good quarterback. Sam Darnold is good now, but somehow his skill will vanish if he came back. No, you know what it is? They can't get the coach right. Sam Darnold had Adam Gase and Todd Bowles as his two coaches and a bad roster, mind you. Get the coaching right. That's why I don't care if they finish with the top pick in the draft. Aaron Glenn should not be allowed to make the pick if it gets that bad. He's going to fail whatever quarterback they draft. Get ahead of it. Get a real offensive coach in here and don't do the same fucking mistake over and over again. I'm sick of it. Here's your updated look at the Tankathon standings. This is going into – oh, hold on. I uploaded the wrong screenshot here. This is going into the late window. Here it is. So this is after the conclusion of the 1 o'clock games. The New York Jets All alone, baby. 0-6. Ravens 1-5. Miami 1-5. New Orleans 1-5. Cleveland and Vegas are playing each other. One of them, unless they tie, will be 1-5. Tennessee's playing, or sorry, Cleveland's going to lose, so they're going to be 1-5. Tennessee, I meant to say Vegas and Tennessee are playing one another, so one of them, unless they tie, will be 1-5. God. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the raffle. I'm going to finish putting together the full list of names, and then we'll give away a rivalry Garrett Wilson jersey. But first, here's a short clip that I promise you'll laugh at, because if we don't laugh, we're all going to cry.
I'm just like moving and grooving.
Get your football.
Oh, man,
Let's
Jay,
work on ball
you gotta
security.
get-
We cannot have any fumbles.
Ball security, Jay.
Yep. Secure your balls.
This is the ball.
If you hold it like that, it's going to get knocked out. Protect it.
Like this.
High and tight. Yep.
So this is my football right here going in the toilet.
What? No. Ball ball security, man. High and tight. That's why we keep losing. The whole point of this exercise is to manifest change. We're trying to get a win.
Scatterboo time. Giants
No,
are
it's
tough
not
to-
scatterboo time. You just put the ball in the toilet. Flush your toilet. Let's go.
Is it going? It's not. Is it going down? Oh, damn it! Smell that toilet water?
Oh, good God, man. I'll tell you what, if the Jets do win, Sean, you're calling in every week and you're putting the football right back in the toilet. Well, the Jets did not win, but Sean still did that on Friday's magnificent second show. That's where we're at, folks. That is where we're at, because our head coach doesn't have a clue about how to do anything.
The practices have been damn good. They are, but
Ladies and gentlemen, the Jets might suck, but we do have the best listeners in sports, and Fanatics recognize that, which is why they wanted to sponsor the post-game show giveaway. So let's give away a Garrett Wilson rivalry jersey right now.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Here we go. Everyone who sent in a super chat that qualified or gifted a membership has been entered. If you win, you have to email me your full name and address and the size you want the jersey in, so I could let the people at Fanatics know where to send you it. Ladies and gentlemen, one wheel spin to determine the winner. And your winner is Mr. Gorilla Salad. Definitely his actual name and not a fake name. Give it up for Mr. Gorilla Salad. Yeah. That's our guy, Nav Craft. Nav, shoot me an email or message me on Discord, because I know you're a Patreon subscriber, and we'll get you taken care of. All right. I want to thank everyone. The New York Jets are in abject disaster. This is going to be another tough week, but I'll be in the building next week wearing a bag on my head. And by the way, Carolina defeated the Cowboys today. They're 3-3. So the idea that the Jets are going to just show up and get their first win next week because they almost beat the Broncos today. Give me a break. Give me a break. See if I can get you an early look at that line for next week. FanDuel doesn't have it yet, so we'll cover that, I'm sure, tomorrow. All right, Benigno at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Will Parkinson, I got to check in with Will. He was in London today, so I don't know when his flight is going to get in, but we'll get Will on at some point this week. Congrats again to Mr. Gorilla for winning our raffle, and that is certainly well-deserved by Mr. Gorilla Salad. All right, again, thanks to all the calls. We couldn't do it without you. Everyone sent in a super chat. Everyone who liked the video, subscribe to the channel. It means a lot. It really does. This team is so bad. This is the worst I think it's ever been since I started doing this, but I'll be here for 4 hours a day. So we're all in this together, Jet fans. I will talk to you guys soon. JETS. Jets, Jets, Jets. You think I'm going to play that and soil Fireman Ed's name? No way. Hey, Aaron Glenn, win a game. I dare you.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets!